Fed Chair Powell tomorrow coming up right now in 24 hours. Make sure you're with us because we'll bring you the rate decision live, the Fed's two-day meeting getting underway this afternoon. Then they'll wrap up tomorrow with Fed decision looking like a quarter point back to about 82% in favor of a quarter point hike coming up tomorrow at this time. Make sure you're with us. It's going to be a market moving event. Here's how the futures are looking right now with 2 hours left in the afternoon. There we go. Thanks, Vahan. 0.85 for the S&P, back to the upside. 0.6 right now for the Dow. 0.8 for the NASDAQ, having a nice afternoon here, led by Nvidia. We'll talk a lot about that, obviously a ton coming out of this event with the CEO just about lunchtime, got underway just after 11 o'clock there, but they announced a ton of AI-related stuff. So Nvidia with a huge afternoon here. 0.65 for the TSX here in Toronto. Nice bounce back day for crude oil, worth noting, 2.7% back higher, 2% at the bottom there for Ethereum, still positive for Bitcoin as well, but only just. That is how the board is shaping up right now. 0.69 up there for the S&P 500. Still a little bit of weakness coming out of the utilities group, real estate stocks, consumer staples, even tech, lingering weakness in tech. But look at that, 8.5 for SEDG, ENPH, 8%, offsetting whatever weakness there is. FSLR, 2.5, looks like nothing, but compared to these two. Software and technology, hardware equipment makers also all higher on the day. Yeah, FRC just keeps going. 44% to the upside. What a day it's been for the regional banks specifically, but FRC winning the day as far as gainers are concerned. Nice day for financials, though, right across the board, the entire thing. Very positive. Tesla, 6.8%. Ford, 4.2%. Yeah, Tesla's up 7%. On the day, even GM with a 4% kind of a day. CCL, RCL, NCLH having a nice day as well. 5 and 6% across all of them. Hope your afternoon is going well. Again, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. As a result, I'm going to pass you off to very capable hands of Sharif, who is going to take care of you for the afternoon, and I'm going to go rest a little before we get Fed Chair Powell coming through tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, Sean's going to talk about one of his trades from this morning.
All right, we'll make this short and sweet to everybody out there today. It's your trade of the day. It's brought to you by Day Trade the World. And look, man, we had Nvidia on our mind. It's software developer conference time. And when this was started to hit was right, let's go this way. So right now, 261.50. Hopefully we can get back upside as we've left a little bit on the table there going up to 262. But here's this move down. And the conference sort of started with Jensen Huang starting at about 11 o'clock or so, coming through. Here's the move down, and then here's the move back up. So I don't know what was happening right here. I actually wasn't paying attention to the call, nor do I really care. What I'm waiting for is this sort of consolidation right here. So we let it drop down, and normally I'm sitting here chasing some of these levels. We had yesterday's close, we had 258 that we wrote down on our sticky note, but then as you can see, I'm not taking a 258 long as we get into some pressure here, although it does bounce right there off 258 to go back up to 259 or so, and then there's the move down. Look at all of these red candles. This is just a 1 minute chart. So what did we do? We waited. We were as patient as possible on this trade, and our first take was right there at 257. Why did we take it there? This is a 50 period break. So, you know, we're watching it, let it bottom out. I wish we would have had the bottom. Let it bottom out, take the 50 period to the upside, all right? So that trade actually gets us out for 50 cents. And then we're like, okay, let's watch this name go. This is where the consolidation talk starts to happen, because then it starts bumping up again. We get another piece out here. So that's 256.50, okay? It's pieces out 257, 257.50. So we're making $1, we're making 50 cents back and forth there, right? But look at this consolidation. That's where I decided at the end there to get, and it's just lucky. We could have got in there, it doesn't really matter. But we were like, you know what? This keeps bouncing off this bottom of 256.50. And I said, you know what? If we can scalp in here about 50 cents, it's probably worth it. But then all of a sudden, boom goes the dynamite, and it just takes off to the upside where we just start capturing profit again. And look where we're getting the majority of them out at, 258. So it's only like $1, $1.50 worth of a win at this point. But then we start to, you know, elevate even further. And then we wait for the 200 period, which is 258.50. Then we get another out right there at 260.50. And now we just went back to, not days high, but this sort of afternoon session high of 262 again. So we're still long down here at 257. And the point of the long again was wait for this news to sort of get flushed out. The market, what's the market doing? So only up 1%, but still, the market has raised up a little bit. We are noticing that top. We're short Meta right now as we speak. We also took a Google long, but it's lifted to the upside. I don't have any plans of getting out of this. We're only holding that last 10%, but it's a nice move to the upside. It's $4 in the money. And again, Nvidia is your trade of the day because we waited patiently to get that 50-period break. It worked. Look where our outs were going to be. That's 50 cents worth of risk. So when it lifts up here, $4 or $5 in the money, you're now at an 8-to-1, 10-to-1 ratio. I wish we would have been able to see that, and I'm trying to get better every single day to hold a little bit more. But that was a good hold for me for $2, $2.50, and this also a good hold up there at 260.50. So we did pretty good. We could always do better, and I'm going to try to do that for you every single day here at Trader TV Live.
Solid trade, Sean. Yeah, excellent there on Meta. Meta's been a banger. Sorry, on Nvidia. Let's get to Meta, though. Let's get to the rundown. Starting off here, this caught an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. It's been doing the dance around 200. It had a high of day of 204. It's now, dancing around that 200 level. Come to my chart. So, yeah, what do we do with this one, guys? It's kind of been hanging out there. You heard Sean Neal say that he was short Meta right now. How you seeing this one?
Well, you know what? I actually do think 201 is probably short on Meta, but you guys remember, look, Amazon's at 100, so I talked about Amazon this morning, and if it got to 100, I was going to take a shot at it. I got that one. I got Tesla kind of at the top as well. We'll get to Tesla, I think, at some point, maybe not on the rundown, but we'll talk about Tesla. Look, Meta, I like the 200 level. I was long it. It was good scalp trades for the long. Eventually, it broke. I could have reversed, did not do so. Good reversal. Now you're above the 200, and it's showing you a channel, 200 to 201. I feel like that 201 is a solid short. You can't ignore the move that it made. I want to go to the higher time frame to show you. It never broke out that 06. That's the much bigger level on the 15. It's the much bigger level on the daily chart if it were to get there. So you're putting in a respectable lower high, which would tell me market at the highs, lower high being put in on Meta. That 01 short looks pretty solid. But, I'm in Amazon right now. I said that once it got to that 100, I want to look for the short. Understanding that it's not a clean level, it could easily get to like 150, and it could be multiple shots at this beneath that 101. The true breakout on this stock to me is if it gets above that 101 level on Amazon. So lots of big tech names to get to in front of the Fed, which we do have tomorrow. This just happens to be a couple of them here. And, the upgrade was good news, but you are still technically inside on Meta. So I want to go one to the other because Amazon's what I'm in, so I want to make sure I showed you guys that. But Meta's, it's showing you a dollar channel. If it breaks down, so if the market breaks down from here, this could break back into the low of the day, but it's got that dollar range. I just like that Amazon 100. I'd swear Amazon was not on the, was that there a second ago? Or I'm just going crazy. Either way, we'll get to it in a bit. I just talked about Amazon thinking it wasn't on the rundown, but apparently it is. Either way, I'm going to short that one. I'm not in the Meta short. I think Sean is, so he can definitely talk to that. I'm assuming it's off the 01 level.
Yeah, so I'm in the Meta short. Well, welcome everybody. I hope you enjoyed that TOD trade of the day. I don't know. I didn't see what was on that board before, but yeah, you're probably
getting old, man.
Well, you're definitely getting old, but I think that's I don't think that had anything to do with it. You know what? There's Meta. I mean, we were wrong. I'll flush myself down the toilet. So Meta is actually a negative stock for me today. We have one of those on board right now. Well, we're negative on AMD as well, but yeah, we were wrong. We were wrong on Meta. I tried to short down here at 199. You guys, as soon as we left the show, there's our big short down, and then we averaged in, and then we just got taken out when we broke up. I mean, we got taken out when we broke above 199 there, and then again 199.50. Then we tried it one more time at 200. That's right at 200, and then out at $200.35 or whatever. So yeah, these were all cuts on Meta for sure. But recently though, whoa, yeah. See, I was fooling with Fibonacci. See those lines right there? But we're gonna get off of that right here quickly. I'll get rid of those. But yeah, we just went short right there at $200, and what am I short? It's the same price right now, 89. So we're short here at $200.89, and we took some profits out 50s, then again at VWAP, then again at 50s, then we just got a bid rate down there at $200.18. So yeah, this is going to be again another 20-cent worth risk short here on Meta, and we already just banked out there 70 cents. So hopefully this will come back in, but right now Meta is looking like it wants to retest that high, and that's what I'm shorting off of right there, 201.70. And I thought I was going to reload this short, so let me have a quick look at that when we get back. There's no Google on there, but Google is pretty much Been another great trade to the upside, going long here at 103.20 again off of that level. So again, kind of flipped over on Meta versus Google. So we only have one trade on Google. That was working. Fortunately, we don't have that 105 tick out rate up there, but we'll try to do a little bit better getting out. But yeah, so far, so good. What's up, Scott H? Now, this is not, I'm not trying to relive my high school days. This is actually how I dress. Like, if you guys see me on the weekend, people outside there, people that met me in Miami, follow me on Instagram. You know, you'll see it's about being comfortable here. I saw Fahad. Fahad really motivated me yesterday. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to wear whatever he wants on the show. I'm going to wear it as well. Same as Arun. Arun's motivated me. So we're just going to stay true to who we are and wear this. We'll get dressed up some days. Tomorrow we'll get dressed up.
I've known you since high school, so I mean, yeah, that's pretty much.
Anybody follows me, though.
What's interesting is, like, the other thing about this, not to jump off topic for a second, but like, if you watched the trading floor before we had the show and kind of looked around, like, nobody would ever wear a tie. Personally, I've always liked wearing a collared shirt, so I'm probably one of the only few people that would do it. We've had traders that would wear wife beaters on the floor. I'm not going to call anybody out, but we've seen it on the floor. I think that's a bit extreme, but you got to be at least a little bit comfortable there. You know what? If we're going to jump topics, Tesla is not on the rundown. I'm not crazy about that, but I just reloaded at 196 because this 96 level has been resistance. I've scalped it a few times. So as the market's at the high, Tesla's been rejecting this 96 over and over. At some point, it probably breaks. But let's get on that rundown. I just reloaded Tesla 96s.
You can't. People talking about the drip on the feet. I mean, come on. I mean, we're not stopping. So that's what we're doing. But I wear these regardless. Not every day. I wore the Jordan 4s the other day. But all right, let's go over and talk about, NVIDIA Day, one of my favorite days.
You guys saw Sean with the trade of the day on Nvidia, and you know that there's a big event happening now, and the headlines are coming out fast and furious. And there's a theme here, guys. Collaboration. Look at these collabs. Oracle, to Adobe, as well here, basically AWS, Microsoft with Azure as a partner. So it looks like they're even partnering with BYD for a software-defined vehicle. So a lot of collab headlines coming out of the event at the moment. So let's see how that affects the stock.
Collab? Is it collab or collab? I don't know. Who says collab? Collab. It's a collab, son. Anyways, Sean talked about AMD, so I'm just going to quickly go over Sean talked about Nvidia, so I'm just going to quickly go over AMD. AMD was basically doing nothing for the entirety of the move to the upside, hanging out right here, 95. I know Arun was in it. I was waiting for it to break out and then follow the move, so I was short in front. I said if it flushed, market flushed, I'd have the short in a weak name. If it broke out, it could get the VWAP. It got the VWAP. Most of that was on the back of Nvidia. I'm still holding a piece of it, but it's just a piece. It's been a weak name pretty much all day. 96.75 or 96.60 to 96.75, I think is the next resistance level worth to get over VWAP. We'll see what happens, but it's basically only been up on the back of that last AMD move to the upside. So I'm not necessarily thinking this is going to be a home run here. It was just like a technical break, and it's been holding it. If anything, this climbs above VWAP. I think there might be some shorts in there on AMD, especially if the market doesn't get through the highs. But I was in Nvidia this early in the day. Now I want to be looking at AMD, especially if the market reverses. This is more of a scalp trade to the long side. I'm not really thinking this is a trend break or anything like that. It's caught a little sympathy off Nvidia.
Yeah, AMD. So, I mean, AMD's battling around that 96 level. That's been a pretty key level for a bit. We just talked about it on our trade of the day. Look, we wrote down on our sticky note today that we really did like NVIDIA down here near 258, but the way it was coming in there, I mean, we can maybe look at a 3-minute chart even better. So yesterday's close right here, right? 258, 259. Sharif was talking about holding yesterday's close on Meta. That worked, but on Nvidia, it did not. But I mean, you could have gone long the first time when that cracked about 11 o'clock, and that was that position that I told you about. Went upside there a little bit. You could have got about $1.50 on that first move to the downside there. But there it is, huge move down. Then you get that little wick bottom there, and then the move up, and that's where we consolidated it. So we can go over here to a 1-minute chart and have another quick look at this one. But there it is right there. You know, the huge long. Right now it's $4 in the money, and I think we'll just wind up keeping this one for a bit. $4 here on that, and yeah, no real ideas of getting out. But if we're going to play the long once it breaks this 50 period twice, then I feel like that's a good short to get out as well. So that's, coincides with that little bump. So I think we have to take down at least, that's 260.75. It sucks because we'll give some up, but hey, man, if you don't hold it, then you don't have this opportunity to give it up either. But right back into there, I think a break of that bottom wick. So 260.50, that's bottom line, that's what we're gonna do. 260.50 we'll get out of Nvidia, but it's a good long here. Right now it's in the money 450, but we're gonna wait for that 260.50 drop off spot right now before we get out. So that's Nvidia.
All right, regional banks next on the hopper. We've seen FRC have an epic day, up 47.5% currently. In case you're just joining us or wondering why the banks are having such a great day, comments coming out from both Jeremy Dimon having a more intricate role in the restructuring of that bank, as well as Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, essentially saying they're looking at expanding more depository insurance coverage for other institutions should they need it. So looks like that is setting up a bit of a backstop. Do we have a trade, guys, on these regionals left on the day?
I don't know. Unless FRC goes to $20, like that 17 thing already happened a couple of times. I think if this gets to like 2021, I think there's going to be an interesting opportunity up there to maybe fade that one. But yeah, it's Jamie Dimon. It's fine. I think everyone was like, Jeremy? I'm like, the first thing that popped to my head is, what's the name of that group that has the song Jeremy? Is it
It's Pearl Jam.
It was Pearl Jam. I was saying Green Day or Pearl Jam because I wasn't sure which one, but it is Pearl Jam. But yeah, great song, but it's Jamie Dimon. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, I was trading Credit Suisse. I don't think he was a trading Credit Suisse this afternoon. Hit enter a couple of times. It's doing absolutely nothing off the $1 level. Try to remember, it is a stock deal. So I think people are saying it's discounted, it's worth $2. No, it's worth like I don't know, it's like 22 to 1 or something like that, shares between UBS and Credit Suisse. So this is not really moving anywhere off that dollar level. And if you're watching UBS, it's been strong today. That's the reason why you're at least testing the highs, but they're up. They're both up. If UBS pulls back, I would short Credit Suisse just because it's at that dollar level. I know where it's out. But this one doesn't seem to want to pull back. If it does, you'll likely see me engage in a short again in Credit Suisse. But once it started breaking out, I just gave up on the short, actually got out flat on the Credit Suisse short.
Look, me and Jimmy Dimon go way, way back, man. Honestly, it's the reason why I'm invested here into JP Morgan. Funny guy, the Sharif guy. But shout out to Sharif, man. The guy's stepping right in for Brendan, sort of unknown to him after doing the. Yeah, you should, but I don't want to say that. All right, so there's 127 on the downside there. That to me, we talked about that level yesterday. I'm actually surprised that we're even up today on these banks. I feel like whenever there's a disaster like this, someone's got to pay the piper. And it's like they always flip, the bigger banks flip the bill for the smaller ones. But UBS is actually up today, and JP Morgan is just kind of, besides sort of the dramatic moves down, it's still well within, reason here of back to the 200 and then a move back to the upside here. This is a daily chart for JPM. So, you do have that wick down, and these were some of the disaster days that we're talking about, down here to 123, 125. But now you're up $5 from that. You could easily get down another $5. So it's not like you're in the clear at all. But, it's nice to see it bouncing back a little bit. I do like JP Morgan. I know we're not I haven't traded FRC, but I did pay, what I was saying, I did pay for shorts, although I haven't traded it. It's very, very small. It was $2 for 1,000 shares or $2.50 for 1,000 shares. And you know what? I don't know. I know Neil just mentioned it a little bit here, but there's VWAP down there at 16. You could sort of say that we respected VWAP a little bit, $14, $15 early, then again at 16, and we're still trying to come back down to 16.75 or so right there. So, maybe that's going to be something to look at. But for me, I've already got 4 positions on right now, including Intel and Meta. You guys can see what I have on board. So I don't think we'll be looking at banks today, but let's just check that WFC, the only regional bank that I've really been trading. And again, I should have been trading it again because that magical 39 level, I talk about it pretty much every day. At one point, I'll make a trade on it, but there it is right there, WFC holding out high side at 39 again.
All right, guys, Amazon's having a good day as well, up 2.5%. It's been, one of those days where they've benefited off sad to say, restructuring news that usually includes layoffs. It looks like it's expanding to previously, untouched areas, AWS, some of its advertising areas also now looking for cuts, guys. Do you see a trade on Amazon?
Yeah, it's at a zone where I don't like. To me, I don't like the long. I've been taking like pot shots at the short like a few times in here. If it gets to 101 and breaks that, I think you're all set for this to make a bigger run. And look, the reason why, we know job cuts aren't going to be a good thing for anyone that's losing their job. But at the end of the day, something like an Amazon, which has been probably burning a lot of cash and not really controlling their costs. Maybe they overextended themselves during COVID. This is something the market is going to welcome, the idea that they'll control their cash. You saw what that did for Meta and the run that it's been on. And Amazon's been underperforming the market. Whoops, I went the wrong way. It's been underperforming the market overall. It's back above the 50 period, that crazy wick there. It's back above the 50 period. It just needs to break this channel. And if it breaks out 101, I think there's lots of room for this to be able to get to the upside, maybe like a 10% on like a swing basis. I don't know if it would do that in a single day. But until then, it's still at the top end of the pocket, and without the market breaking the high, up here I'll be looking for the shorts. I've kind of been taking like 20-cent hits or so, like going short off of these levels, because it's not a ton of volume up here, but I'm still looking for the short in this channel. If it makes a push to 101, I'll definitely get in. It's Tesla that I just reloaded off of the highs, though.
Oh, no.
Is that one just keeps on going. Like it's hard to see here on the chart. That's to zoom right in, but it keeps testing these wicks up here. Like it'll break 196, kind of wick top, reload, scalp a little, try to hold it. It's been a generally good short up here. It wasn't a good short at 95, but this 96 area has been a little bit better. That's the one I'm sitting in. I am still looking at Coinbase, but I guess we'll get to that a little bit later. Amazon, I'm going to try to wait for it to make another high and then jump in.
All right, I'm just 40. I need to put 40 more shares up here somewhere. Okay, just getting short on Metas. Okay, so I thought I had a stop for Google at 104.50, but I guess I did not. So it's making a move to the downside right now. Is Google just now bouncing? I got to do some more work because I thought I had a stop. I just saw stop got filled. What are we talking about? Amazon? All right, you know what? We could talk about this, but I just got out of Nvidia right there. It took that 260.50, that bottom wick right there. Whether or not that's a bad wick or whatever, man, we'll give up $1 from that high. And well, I mean, really the high, I'm not going to consider that very, very wick high, but we could have got out of the way here at 260, 261.50. So I think 261.50 was probably the better out. Not probably. I mean, we can look back and say that it was, but that 261.50 down to 260 and making moves down. So I'd say watch out here for Nvidia possibly pulling back in. And then just now, what's going up right here is Meta. So Meta just went up for a ride a little bit, which is fine by me. We've done well on Meta, making back some money here on these shorts, but watch out for that high break still of 201.10. So there we go. We have our last position right now ahead of 201, but Meta's definitely ramping up right now. So I would say watch out for this name starting to go. So look at our price, 84. Our out is going to be 10. So that's going to be about 30 plus a little bit of slippage, 35, 40 cents worth of a hit. Let's watch out for Meta. It looks like it's starting to get excited here.
All right, guys, it's been a tough couple of days for Pinduoduo coming off bad earnings. And then today, again, having trouble with Google being taken out of the Google Play Store as a result of some of the versions of their software having malware attached to them. Neil, I see a flat bottom break here. If I've ever seen one, Bradley, come to my chart. What do you see here on PDD on the 15? Does that look like a flat bottom break? Look at that consolidation area.
Your short answer is yes, but I think I tweeted this one out. Like, just look at the range. It tanked yesterday, so you get a huge gap to the downside after tanking on earnings, and then it showed you the range. You got like an 82 area top to 83, and then you had support down here at 78. Okay, so it goes up, doesn't quite get to 83, actually fails the 82 level, comes right back in. If you look at the lower high at the 80 level, okay, well, that ends up being the exact same short at lunchtime, the scalp in there. Some at 79, because that was support. And then you had the flat bottom at 78, which is where I covered the trade. So I'm out of it, because no need, if it's going to break 78, you can always short that level. These ADRs, I say this every single time, I know it's a broken record, but there's no guarantee they're going to do moves in the afternoon. So I feel like you always want to take your profit if you get a chance. If this comes back to 80, I'd short it. If it breaks 78, I think it's worth the short as well. So yes, flat bottom break, but it's bouncing now and the market's strong. Ooh, Tesla just took out the top. So I'm out of Tesla short and into Tesla long. Let's see if it wants to actually make the move to 200. I don't know if it'll get to 200 today, but it's up 7%, and it just took out that high that it's been barcoding off of. So long story short, on PDD, it would have to move a lot for me to short these highs, but I see you. Flat bottom break is in play at 78. Just understand these things don't always move. These ADRs, these Chinese ADRs in the afternoon might not be worth it, but I'll take a shot if it does make the break.
Yeah, we got close to getting stopped out there of Meta. So, yeah, $200.84 right now, getting pretty close, man, to getting stopped out. We're just at that high wick right now. So it looks like we are going to get stopped out if we break through 20 or so on Meta, as that's coming back in as well. The only short that we had on our board all day was going to be PDD, and now I'm short Meta, but that's okay. Meta was a huge long off that 98, man. I mean, what a long that was. I know you had that professor over there, and that was a great one. We were short into there before getting out at 199.50, but we'll give some back right now, obviously, as Meta just really super strong and continues to make moves. This is one of my largest holdings. I'm happy that it's going upside right now. Don't ever trade against your book because you got to still trade what you see, regardless of what your longer term position is. One of my biggest positions is Google. We're long that name as that's bouncing off that level as well. That could have been a reload maybe into it. But yeah, maybe Coinbase, and some of you guys talking a little bit about Coinbase right there on the move as well. I'm just watching Meta. I mean, Meta looks like it wants to break. Coinbase is $83. Wow, what a strong day. Again, 11. I kind of chuckle because I didn't realize. I'm going to take a little piece out here on Meta if we can get it. Let's go back over to that. But I chuckle a little bit because I didn't realize how strong Coinbase was today. I'm going to have to check out some of my Bitcoin holdings again here because Meta continues to be, Coinbase continues to be so strong. But oops, look at the daily chart though. I have to find out about those wicks, but regardless of those wicks right now, slow down chart. You're right back in right here. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit more, we'll get rid of that. We're right back into some support levels. This goes back to mid last year, where Coinbase was $83. So this goes back, well, not mid, I guess late September of 2022 right there for Coinbase with a wick high of 88. So we can watch out for that. This is when BlackRock, I think, was involved. That seems like that was not that long ago, but there it is right there for them. So yeah, man, Coinbase continues to be so strong, and congratulations anybody that's believed in this bottom. I mean, next time next time we see a play in Bitcoin or whatever, you're gonna have to watch out for that. It's quite a huge move up. And then there we go. We got some out at 96. Our average price was 84. So a small little 12-cent hit there. Now we'll hold to see if Meta wants to come back down and change our stop order, because now the hit is a little more reasonable as we got it at 20% down there.
So Tesla broke the high reverse. I did just get a bit of a scalp trade out there, but I'm trying to hold for 197 next and then just see where it can go from there. I did just get into Coin. Coin is now in that range. On the daily, it broke that 80 level. That was the last significant level until we get into here. And you can sort of see this is 83. That's 87. The midpoint of that is going to be 85. So this is a target area that I was looking for a turn. I did try it on the way up the first time. It took out the top. I waited for confirmation, kind of missed this shot here to be shorting the 83.30 level. So when it's in the lower high again, I'm now in it. So that explains. It'll seem like a random price, although when you look at it, it's the lower high. I'll give it to the top. If it breaks the top, wait to 85. I don't want to buy the long up here on Coinbase. I feel like if I was going to have reversed long, I had the winning short off of 80, and I decided not to reverse it at the 80 level. That's where I should have been going long. I don't think chasing it up here makes sense, up 11%, especially with the market getting to tops and Fed tomorrow. It's hard to want to chase a move at a level like that when you look at where it is in the daily. Go to that higher time frame. If it makes sense on both, fair enough. If it only makes sense on one, you don't have to do it. I think I heard Arun even talking about that on the midday, which makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. I just want to quickly, just because I didn't get a chance to mention this, I'm still in that XPeng. So I said everything I said about the ADRs and not always moving. I was grabbing XPeng beneath VWAP there. It held. I've been covering it when it breaks VWAP, but it's not really doing anything above VWAP. So it might not move, but I got a 990 long, and it's really just kind of sitting here at 10. So might have absolutely nothing this afternoon on the stock, except for the fact that I'm in it. I have offers to the high of the day. I got to stop in beneath that support. If I don't talk about it, it's because it's still in the same range, bouncing off of VWAP. But I'm in it, so I have to mention I'm also still in some SI. I have a bid at 120, but this stock has found a bottom at 130. We're short this off the 170 level. Stopped it out originally. Short in the pre-market, should have waited till the open, and then at the open it was essentially just short 170 and hold it all day long. So that's a couple of things that I'm in, although Coinbase and Tesla, those are the last two new ones off these highs. One short, one long. Tesla's been a bit of a beast, so I don't mind that. The Coinbase, always have to watch out for your short. My stop's high a day, plain and simple.
Yeah, FRC started to make a move down here finally. For those of you that are waiting for that short, there's FRC just pushing it, just wicked down to 1650. So no surprise that it stopped sort of at even pennies and dollar levels there. So 50-cent spot there, stops almost on a dime, 55, 56. Back in again. So we talked about maybe going long if we touched VWAP, and that's sort of what just happened. So you wick down through there. Now, I mean, now it's getting to the downside, but this would be a spot there. If you're long, you may want to stop yourself out. Again, up to you, trade at your own risk, but taking down this 1650, it may happen just right now. As here goes FRC. You're not too far away from halting. I mean, this was 1760. You only have to go down about $1.70, $1.80. So you're getting close. I think if you break this and touch 16, it probably halts. We need to get some halt bands, which we don't have, but there's the bounce again, right there again. I mean, some of these wicks are a little misleading, right? Because there's not too much volume. So what happens is like it wicks down and sort of makes you think like, okay, you know, that's the true bottom, but it's not really. I think you got to sort of watch these names if you can. So that 1650, it didn't hold because if you used it as an out, then you got stopped out. But right there, FRC did just pull back in again on that. If you want to look at a 3-minute chart, which we've sort of been doing, yeah, I mean,
you have 1650.
Where did we close? Yeah, I don't know. That's 1650, that bottom wick right there. You don't have that wick?
No, I like.
Oh, you have a bunch of wicks.
I've got a bunch of wicks that are bad
out.
on my chart. I have to edit those. Okay, thanks.
But right there, yeah, 1640 right now. I thought we had the same filters.
We do have the same filters.
No, we must not. There must be one that you're missing. Honestly,
I hope that's the case. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So do I. Yeah. So we here what we're talking about is here. We use P-Pro 8 charts, which we know they're not the greatest. I mean, we see them on the show every single day, but they're nice. You can customize them, and there's no problem with that. It's just really the fact that there are some, deprint wicks, which some traders here at Day Trade the World, and Neil and I have both gone to bat to try to get rid of these, but there are traders that use dark pool prints for reasons. And I even see people on the chat talk about dark pool fills all the time. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If it's part of your strategy, it's part of your strategy. So, of course, P-Pro 8 is built by traders for traders. So if that's going to be sort of the thing, then, we got to leave them on there if traders are actually going to use them. So what we've requested is filters to get them out. So mine are all filtered, and not all, but most of them, I guess, are filtered down there because that really happened, right? Like this wick down on FRC actually happened. So, no problem with that. But okay, that's that trade. I'm just still waiting, man. I'm still waiting. Meta's goes into flat. It went down literally. My price is 84, right? That bottom wick right there that did happen is 84. So I don't know. I'm not averaging any more into this name. We've already got a piece out there for flat, basically. Well, not flat. It was at 96, so a 10-cent hit. We'll see if it can come back. I mean, I'm realistically looking. I don't have any bids, but I should put one right here. I just don't think we're going to crack too much lower on Meta. The market is up right now. The market's looking to take out its highs as well. I mean, I know we have a high right there when we opened up, but I mean, the market looks like it wants to take out this afternoon high. Of course, Meta wasn't here when that happened, but Meta's here now. So let's wait to see if that does become an issue right there for the market. If we take that out, then for sure, Meta's going to take out that high right now. So this is not a bad spot to average in right here for Meta. Let's just try to do that. And this is going to be, again, we'll get some 05s there. This is a very, very small piece. So, we'll sit here and wait, but we are getting close to getting out of this, man. I'm not like this 20 level, that's it. So if we break 20, we're gone. Just giving you guys an update there on Meta, and that's about it, man. We're still short Intel, which has been huge. Unfortunately for us, we didn't get out at the very bottom, which would have been down here at $28, but we're still short 29, so that's still printing. We'll have to watch out for VWAP here. 28.50 possibly has a break there as well.
Speaking of the chips, that's my segue. AMD is still struggling at VWAP right now. So this is the third time it's gotten here. 96 is the even dollar level. VWAP on my 3-minute chart is be 96.20-ish. It's an area, obviously it might be different. There's subtle differences in VWAP on our charts because they track some pre-market volume, but it's a little better in the middle of the day. If it doesn't bust through as the market is taking out the high, then I know this is not going anywhere and it's going to turn into a short. But I'm giving it a chance to go. It just doesn't seem to want to. Tesla just broke 97, so go Tesla. The irony of Tesla is I did open long on Tesla, the 188, like that initial dip buy, and then the second it got to 95, I'm like, okay, this is a short. 96 to short, 96 to short. The first time at 96, like this one where you let it consolidate, that was good. It's that second time at the same level. I'll zoom back in now. It's that second time at the same level, which isn't always as good. But once it breaks out, it's pretty clear, right? Like you break a level like that to the upside. You saw the dip only hold to 95, so only won $1 in the first place. I'm not saying we're going to 200, but if the market takes out the high, 10% on Tesla happens pretty frequently. And if you look at the daily chart, which I have to zoom because that's not split adjusted. If you look at the daily, like you're breaking out of this channel, holding the 50 period, and that next consolidation was a big one, right in between 96 and like 216. It's like a huge area up there where I feel like Tesla wants to just get to, and maybe it sticks around there for a little bit, but that's a huge price area for us to take advantage of. If it wants to sit in that range, it's fine by me. 200 to me is kind of like that ceiling on today. If it got there, I would probably be looking for a short, if not obviously out of any longs at that particular point. But if I'm still in a short that's not sitting in SI, it is Coin, which is now up 11%. I'm not really adding to this unless it breaks toward the high of the day. I just want to make sure in the consolidation now, but kind of like when I was shorting it before, short it, allow it to test the high, get myself a decent price, as opposed to just sort of averaging into it as it's doing absolutely nothing. I want to make a decision when it tells me to make a decision, and right now you're not seeing any reason to do so.
Yeah, Mark Knight. I mean, I'm not a huge swing trade person or anything like that. So any major moves in your personal account for tomorrow, no. I mean, I hold basically a lot of, big tech names. So, and, marijuana names that are already at zero. So I don't know.
They moved today,
if Jerome Powell starts lighting up a joint or something, then maybe we'd be able to get some play on those. But other than that, no, I don't have any sort of ideas for what to do. The only thing, and the reason why I sort of say that again, is just look, let me just refresh this because I feel like that's the same number that was from this morning, 84%. Yeah, okay, so it just hasn't moved. So, 84, first of all, Meta's close to getting out. It's at 201.14 right now, so we're just a matter of pennies away from getting stopped out of Meta. But right there, so I'm watching FRC too. It broke that 1650, touched 16 to the downside. What I'm getting at is, I feel like we're already baked in, man. I mean, if the market, like when it's this obvious and then you look down and you see the NASDAQ today up 1%, I just feel like all we're really doing then is waiting for Fed speak tomorrow, right? So we know it's going to be 0 or 25. It seems to be pretty obvious. There's been surprises before, so I'm not going to put my money down and say it's guaranteed to be one of those two, but that looks to be pretty solid. And I guess the market likes it. I mean, and then ahead of any kind of talk that Jerome's going to have in some of the questions. I don't know. Like I said, the Fed funds rate is pricing in a cut into the end of the year. So I think he's going to get questioned about that, and that can only lead one of two ways, right? Either he says cut, like what the hell are you guys even talking about? We're not even close to doing any cuts, or he's going to still say what I think he's going to say is the same stuff, and that is we are but data dependent. So I think that's what we're going to depend on. And then you saw today, even though it was small, the Canadian inflation number came in at 5.2 versus 5.7. So not to say that, Powell or anybody is looking at the Canadian economy as obviously like we have oil and lumber. But, other than that,
hey. What else do we have? No, we have nothing else.
Right. Okay. So, basically,
I tried to get mad, but
yeah. No, but I'm just throwing that out. Obviously, there is something else like marijuana, I guess, as an export. Yeah. So there is some other things there. Shout out to everybody growing in Florida and California and all that. But I just don't think that he's going to do anything. So a long-winded answer there, Mark. I feel like if the market was scared of anything, why would we be up 1% today? I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to sell right now. So if you are a little bit frothy on some of your positions, I would say Google would be the only one maybe to get out just because of the run that it's been on, and or Meta. Meta keeps bouncing.
But Nvidia's on a huge run.
Oh, and that's what I mean. Pick your poison.
Yeah, I feel like, look, if something spooks the tech names, Nvidia's been on such a massive run, like that could be it. Coinbase, except crypto's been doing its thing. We've got maple syrup. I have no idea. I love maple syrup, but I have no idea like how big a business. I can't imagine exports
The
of maple
U.S.
syrup.
probably exports more maple syrup.
Yeah,
than
like
Canada.
it can't be that much of a booming business.
Oregon and all that.
Although I will say this: if you're not getting true maple syrup from here, then it's not the same thing. I'm just saying. Pretty amazing. I was actually at an arboretum in Florida, and they had some maple trees down. It was pretty cool. Like you could obviously they're gonna have to implant them from other places, but like holy crap, maple trees here. You can grow anything if you do it right. So I wanted to go to just one name here because I feel like we just talked about a little bit of tech and some names that have been on a run. I'm just throwing this one out there because I think Sean mentioned you were talking about PayPal earlier, or maybe it was Brendan. Either way.
Yeah, it was Brendan this morning, I think.
So Block just took out the 50-period square, $77, but it's been sort of hanging out the top. And I've just been watching this as it hangs that top, trying to break 77, triple top at 78. So this is another name which is right at a pretty big decision point. I was watching this for the afternoon for a potential breakout. I mean, above the 50-period moving average, potential break of a 78 level. It looks pretty solid. It's already made one breakout today. If you look at my 15, there we go. That's that 77 top. So it's already made one breakout of a channel. If it holds and breaks the 78, I think it's an interesting one. Has to happen, obviously. You know, I'm not looking at trading this one unless it takes out that level. It's there. It's like 50 cents away, so I wanted to point it out. So Coinbase did make another push. It got to 83.70. I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. That's a legit like wick top, came right back in, sort of shorted 83.40, just added to it. Wait for it to do something to make a decision. It did something. Decision, add to the short. I haven't been scalping this, but maybe it'll make some sense for me to scalp some out in the low 83s here just to get something. If it's going to hang around and barcode off the high, I can short the pops. Maybe I should go ahead and do that because we keep talking about the market possibly being slow till tomorrow. Well, if that's the case, you want to have some inside trading if that's the way it wants to be. And yes, Canada's main import-export, you could say Drake's music. He's making some coin, although, you know, probably per capita.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of coinage. We got some good things out there. We also export funny comedians. Just to throw that out there. A lot of absolutely, I want to say like top 10, top 100, whatever it might be, comedians have come from Canada. Most of them you should know. Jim Carrey, he's Canadian. I don't care where he lives now. He's Canadian.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, there's so many guys. Let's just...
I mean,
why are we even talking? Oh, I want to say something here. Brian James said, I wish Canada and America would meet. Meet? What does that mean? We have multiple borders where we already meeting. You know, like we can meet at, you know, Detroit and Windsor. We can meet there. We
literally meet everywhere.
We could meet at Buffalo, like Niagara Falls. We could meet there as well. So I'm not sure about that comment, but shout out to you, Brian James. And then shout out to Ponzi Fonzie. He wanted a shout out. So you get one right there. Holla. Ponzi Fonzie right now as Meta. We took a piece out right there on 90 for that. All right, Momo. Momo keeps asking me about Ford. Yeah, I did shout you out early. I did talk about Ford early on in the day. What just happened right there? Okay, we're waiting to get some fills going through right now in this market as Meta. I was just sorry about that, Momo. Again, I just get distracted. Oh, it touched 80. We did not get that fill? We're at 77. That line must have, yeah, that line moved a little bit. Again, you know, someone said on the chat there that like when you're looking at 1 minute charts, you're not getting wicked out. And that's true. It's not, I don't like to use the terminology wicked out. And more, when Neil and I use it, it's more like, okay, like it broke a level and then, you know, broke, like we have the orders out there. So it's like, it goes to our level, takes us out, and then doesn't continue to go up and then fades back. And that's when it's like, oh, punch in the face because yes, maybe we should have been using longer time frames. But I heard Arun talk about this on the midday show.
It's more running stops.
And it's trading, yeah, and that's what it is. It's running stops. If everybody has the same out, then you're all gonna get run, right? By the way, bye-bye Meta. Hopefully that goes to the downside right now as we get our 77 fill. And this should be a good winner for us. Let's see if it can hold out off that day's high. But you know, you gotta use what charts work for you. And if a 1 minute chart doesn't work for you, then so be it, right? I mean, we don't show our numbers on the show, but they speak for themselves. And if I had any sort of an issue with trading, I would adjust my charts. And that is what I'm doing. quite frank with you. I mean, I'm using different metrics now. I'm trying to hold a little bit longer. I'm trying to use a 3-minute a little bit more, and then try not to trade as aggressively on the open. So I just feel like as traders, it's our job to continuously adapt to the market that we have. And, you know, if you find out that you are getting, like right now, I'm going to put another bid down here in the mid 60s. If you are starting to get wicked out and stuff like that, then yeah, change. Like if you're on a 1-minute chart, go to a 2-minute chart, go to a 3. Like it's not that much different. It's just here we can scalp. Like I've made today, it's not a huge day for me, but about 200 fills, and I'm paying $19 in fees. So some days, you know, I can control the fees a little bit. $20 in fees for that many trades is fine. And of course, we're on a prop floor, but we also in Canada don't have to worry about PDT or anything like that. So, you know, it gives us an opportunity to get in and out of as much as we can, and then either A, use more share size and get in and out quicker, or you know, use maybe less share size so you can hold it against you and then, you know, watch for the more dramatic moves. So either way, man, as we always say, I say to my kids and everything like that, when they're worried about things, just do you, and you will be fine. So
this is a great question.
Yeah, let's go.
So actually, this is a great question here because Derek, this is possibly an example of it right now. Derek asks, does anybody here have a strategy when they use stop runs to get into position, as in you put your order where you know stops get runs so you get a better price? I would argue that one thing that we talk about sometimes, which is like a trending down stock, like when it pops over VWAP, like AMD right now, if I think there's resistance at like 96.65, that's overhead resistance on a VWAP break. So there could be a lot of like shorts that are giving it to VWAP that would get stopped out, and then the push up here would give you like these money fills here, like 96.5, and then you could be shorting that off the higher level, and you're getting filled as other people are getting stopped out. Then if it snaps back beneath, you're already in the money. Now, what I've done, because I'm long, by the way, is I'm now trailing it beneath 96. So if it does maintain the breakout, great. If it does not hold it, I'm getting out down here. I'm not looking to get into the short. But Pinduoduo did that today. Actually, one of the shorts in PDD was essentially that. Like anyone that was trending to the downside could have had trailing stops at VWAP or just 80 even stops. And when they broke up, it's like short it as it goes above. I actually didn't get a great price because it had come back down before I got back in, but it was like 80.07 or something like that I was able to get. And you're looking for the stops to get run in 80 because you like the general short in the direction. I don't think it's going back to the high of the day, but you want these fills above VWAP because it had lower resistance at 80.50. So you're looking for shorts between 80 and 80.50. That means people are getting stopped at 80 and you're taking those fills up. So you could have done that and it would have worked fantastically on Pinduoduo if you took that. We'll see about AMD right now. It looks like it is going to challenge these levels above VWAP, so I'm holding on to the long. But the market, the NASDAQ, is at the high of the day, or at least very close to the high of the day. If it doesn't punch through, just remember AMD is down 0.5%. I'll put that in the middle. Down 0.5% and really just trying to break the trend back into the upside. So I would not be stubborn with this, thinking I'm holding this long to 100. I don't think AMD is getting to 100 today, quite frankly. It would seem ridiculously unlikely. Certainly could happen tomorrow. I just don't see that happening today. I want this to get to 97, if anything.
Okay, so today, well, you want to talk about Canadians. We talked about Ryan Reynolds today coming through. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds and everything he's going to.
Not Paul Rudd?
Not Paul Rudd, no. Not American or Canadian
Why did someone think he was Canadian?
Paul Rudd. I don't know. Someone just said it in the chat. He's like, what, you don't even like Canadian Paul Rudd? Paul Rudd, my wife doesn't like Paul Rudd. She just, I don't know, she hates his face. I don't know why. We've talked about this over and over again.
I think he's funny. Maybe that's just me.
Maybe. I don't know. But I don't have anything. It wasn't Paul Rudd. No, it was the other guy. I was going to say.
40-year-old virgin, right? Like.
Yeah. But
that was him, right?
Wasn't there a sitcom that he was on that was Parks and Rec? Was he Parks and Rec? Or was that the other guy that looks like Paul Rudd? I don't know. Anyways, we talked about, let's go over to Fubo. Shout out, I just saw someone talk about it there in the chat. I see there's Momo messaging me about Ford again. Oh, man. Meta, by the way, good thing we got some outs, man. Meta's back to 201 flat right now. But we talked about Fubo this morning, and I was like, hey, man, if you can get it, anywhere near this 110 or so area, then you only have 10% worth of risk, because if it breaks back down below $1, then you can get out. But right there, Ryan Reynolds today announcing that, or I guess Fubo's announced it. Brendan's no longer here today. You say no longer with us. That doesn't sound right.
Oh, goodness, that's not good.
That does not sound right. Brendan is completely, well, he's not fine. He's fine. He's just under the weather. He's going to get ready for tomorrow. So we were like, Brendan, I put a message in the chat. I'm like, yo, take off. I want to say thank you to Sharif for filling in. Like, if Sharif's not feeling well too, he can book out right now if he wants to as well. We got this. But thank you to everybody. But there's Fubo again. Nice move to the upside right there off of that news this morning. And it's not, so we were a little bit misunderstood that headline. It was that it's not that he's taking a stake in Fubo or anything like that. It was that he's writing for them, like he's working on something for Fubo, whether or not it be a new sitcom or, again, I don't want to talk about the story because I don't know that much about it, other than the fact that look what Fubo's been doing lately, straight kicked in the face, and then today a nice move up. I could only assume that it is on that Ryan Reynolds news. Yeah, so, yeah, that's what that is. Okay, let's just go back here real quick, real quick right now. As Meta, whoops, that did not update my charts. We hit it again. So there's a couple outs for Meta. Notice we're not averaging back in. It failed at the 50 period. So, like, look what happens here. Bang the 50 period, back up new high. Hits the 50 period again. Well, actually, hits the 50 period, hits it again, then new high. So right now, we're getting ready to take this out. So there's hit the 50 period, back up to the new high. If you fail now, then I would say we're downside. But I'm not averaging back into this trade. It's a small hit at this point, but it still is a hit. We don't want to take any more of those. So Meta's been pretty strong off that 98 bottom. We'll hold out for this move right now. If it comes back in, it comes back in. We're still watching out for Google to go to the upside, and Intel's kind of, I have like 5% left of Intel, so it's kind of not much right now. Look at that, nice little fade back.
Now we're testing the high.
Yeah, we're testing the high in the future, but Meta just failed on that level. So yeah, the futures are ripping up here. But yeah, Google's not back at the high. What do you got, Tesla?
Three things. Tesla's going up.
Yeah, Tesla's
that's good. But the other thing is, thank you for saying that Paul Rudd is funny, because I kind of agree with that. And Fubo has a 26% short interest. I just do that in the chat because you can't tell. If it's bouncing off $1, yes, a lot of it has to do with the news catalyst, but never discount the fact that there's a short interest on a stock. It's $1. Like at 26%, it's got room to run. Shorts have to cover. That's how they make money. If they don't, anybody has to cover a position before they make any money. Look, if Tesla starts pulling back from here, I think you could retest 196.5, which is what I have. So the market's at the high. I say make a decision when you're supposed to make a decision. Do it first, then talk, Neil. So it just started turning at 198, but the market just got to the top. And to me, this is a logical place where I could see a bit of a reversal. If it pulls back in and reholds my entry price, I'll just go back in and dip. This is now almost power hour. We got like 5 minutes to go till power hour. So I want to ring the register, try to get back in at another time. AMD, I just want to make a quick adjustment here. It's now making a bit of a turn. I would have been happy if it got to 97s. It doesn't look like it wants to break that earlier channel where it failed, 96.65. So it's failing here as well. My gut is telling me to just take AMD. I'm going to get out of AMD. This is.
Are you long?
Yeah. If I was flat, I'd be thinking about, the money fills were, I was just talking about this shorting in here, giving it to 96.65, and then you have a relatively weak stock if the market rolls over. Well, if I think that, then how am I holding the long? Just get out of the long. It doesn't mean I have to go short, but certainly it just kind of breaks the tie for me there to be able to do that. And then the one I am short in, I haven't added to this. I'll scalp it if I get a chance, but until I get some out of Coinbase, I'm not going to add to this position. If this rolls over, I think you could see VWAP or 81, so there's room for it to go down. 83, 82, 81, those are all obvious levels to be able to take some profit down there on the short side of the trade. But a couple of other names to get to. I did get stopped out of Amazon, thinking it was going to test higher. It never really did. It's now back at that 100 level. This could be another potential shorting opportunity. I just want to see the market get to the high, fail the high, or at least make a real run at that high before jumping into a couple of these shorts. Coinbase is kind of a beast on its own there without jumping into like 3 or 4 extra ones.
Yeah, so unfortunately, man, we'll flush ourselves down the toilet for a $4 winner on Nvidia because, like, we got out there at 260.50. Like, talk about picking the level. Like, that right there, I could sit here and talk about whatever, we want to, but I still feel like this market, who's with me on why the hell this market is up 1.1% right now? I'm sort of surprised at this kind of rally cry here today for this market ahead of what is now 23 hours away. from a rate decision. But again, I already talked about why the rate decision is almost irrelevant. But I just feel like it's the talk, it's all that. Let's just see what happens. But there's Nvidia right back to the day's high. So congratulations, anybody that held that. I mean, obviously, I wish I would have held it out for like what, 10 more cents, and then I can get $2 on that. So that's a little disgusting right there. I went the opposite of Neil. So that's why I asked, I mean, you're already long, so it's fine. It's just, I think AMD here has a chance now finally to run a little bit. So we're long at 23s. We just take out 10 cents. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but we've averaged in back there, right back to VWAP. We have a 96 bottom there, or not bottom, but we'll see if that is the bottom or not. But right now, so far so good. Buying these 96, we're only long at 96.20. So we got to give this a little bit more room. I mean, I like the room back to 96. It's not a whole heck of a lot of room, but that little wick high there might have also signaled the top. So we'll have to see. 96.55. Would love to make a decision if it gets back there, because then we'd pretty much be at the high of our day as well. And then Meta on the reload there, it ripped up. It went to 35, and now it's just coming back in a little bit. So I don't know. I'm going to be done with Meta at these levels. Meta was fine today. It's just that last, short there, took some profit. Should have got more out at the 50 period. Easy to say when it rips, and you can look back at it. But right there, nice little move for Meta. We are now out. And just watching out for AMD here, man. I mean, it's not really breaking this 30 level. We are long at 23s. Let's just try to give this a little bit of room. That back fill right there on the 3-minute chart. I mean, that little wick down is 71, so maybe something like that. But here we go. Let's go. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. Now you're starting to elevate a little bit on AMD there. As we'll take out a little bit. Just got 20 cents on that. We got a 40 fill or whatever that was right there. Yeah, 40s. So let's see if it continues to go up. Might have been 38s. But right now, long AMD is my new position.
So I just got back into Amazon at the high. You can see that one come in at 22, one of my favorite prices, just a coincidence. The high of the day is 42, and it's at 22 right now. So it's like my two favorite numbers right there. But a good question in the chat. Someone just asked about Netflix for a short. Is Netflix relatively weak? I mean, close to it. I don't say, the market's up 1%, both of them. So, Netflix has been lagging a little bit, but 308 looks like the obvious top here. Maybe like 307.5. So it's not quite there. Like the market, this is what the NASDAQ's doing. Like it's screaming into the highs. The ES is screaming into the highs. So if you're looking for a short, you don't have to compromise on price. Like the market is screaming, we're strong. So I would say if you like the short on Netflix, well, on the 15-minute it says let it get into the top. That was a high at the open too. Is let it make that next move. If we break the high on both the ES and the NASDAQ and Netflix never moves out of here, well then you could probably just short as it breaks down, like short 36.50 on the way downside. If the market decides to make that move and Netflix goes nowhere, or allow it to get to the top and just follow the market. So I wouldn't rush into the short. Like let it make that move in. I feel like if in a strong market, you tend to get the prices you want short, right? It's the same thing. When the market's flushing, if you like a certain price long, well, you're probably going to be able to wait around and get it if it is to that downside. But here comes Coin back up to 84. So that's the one I got to be concerned with here. I just got in Amazon. It moved like 6 cents. So Coinbase is at that 84 level. If it breaks 84, I got to get out of Dodge. If it doesn't up down, like breaks 84 even, slams right back in, like wicks that top, I'd probably jump back into the trade, but I'm going to have my hard stop there because we are now through those tops in the market, so we're still screaming. I did jump out of Tesla as well. It is bounced off of that 198 level a couple of times here. If it chews through it, then I've made the wrong decision. I still want to give it a chance to reverse there off of those highs because the market, to me, are we going to sustain this move going into tomorrow? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's happening, so we're here.
Yeah, I agree with some people there in the chat. I don't think we're looking back now. I don't. We're entering power hour right now. Look at the USD. I mean, we just ripped that AMD trade, guys. Like, we just made, whatever, it doesn't matter. Nice move up there for AMD. Look what's happening with the USD right now, too. So it's falling down. This is the DXY. So nice move to the downside. I have to ask Katrine if TradingView got back to her because I said that these guys should be sending us some, you know, I keep showing this chart, so maybe they could sponsor and give us. Actually, I don't even see, well, I'm not logged in here, so I was going to say I don't see the ads up here anymore, so that's nice. But here's a nice move down. It's the biggest move of the day for the dollar, despite, actually, I mean, that's a big move right there. So that's 103.18. Let's see if it's coming back in right now. 103.20. Yeah, the DXY is starting to make that move back, so that's going to be good. Again, in anticipation of tomorrow, we are at 84% for a yes, for 25 points. There, is that a yes? 25 points. So let's just see if that continues to work. So there's AMD, man. We just got out right there at the high of the day. We're not holding as many shares anymore because we just got that. I mean, we were sitting there waiting for that trade. So as you could see, as this market starts to move around a little bit, it is good to move some money around. Don't sit in something that you have ye of little faith in. And AMD and the market right now, I'm just not convinced that we want to go for a huge run. But like I said, the market just took out that high, and you know, if it didn't want to, it didn't have to, and it did. So let's wait to see what's going on right now. Hopefully we can get back up to these levels for AMD. I'm going to put another offer here at 44.45 just to get another piece out, but we are slowly getting out of some of these longs. The Google trade's $1.20 in the money. We'll talk about that when we get back. And Momo, I'll talk about Ford, I promise. What's up with Sharif at the big desk?
Hey guys, 3 o'clock, 1 hour left in the trading session. Let's look at what's happening now. Tesla up big on production numbers coming out of Shanghai facility, up over 7% on the day. Amazon market is bullish on its latest cost-cutting measures. It's trading up 2.5% near highs. Likewise with Coinbase. Bitcoin up at 9-month highs and Coinbase skyrocketing over 11% on the day. A lot of consistency between these charts, guys. They're all up and to the right. Tesla, Amazon, and Coinbase.
We're up and to the right. We're 5 handles away on the ES from the top. The market's, look, we say the market, just understand that we're talking usually about the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ's through the high, the ES is not. That's the S&P 500 futures for those of you that don't know. They both matter. Obviously, they're not always going to be lock and step, but today they're pretty darn close. Like, this is not one of those, it's like the NASDAQ's leading, but it's like by 0.1. So they're both kind of at the highs here. The difference is the bank sometimes. Other times it can be like the staples or just
maybe healthcare.
Yeah, sometimes it's healthcare, whatever might be moving the ES a little bit. But today we're about 5 handles. When I say 5 handles away, no, sorry, check that, 3. 40.32 I think is the top there, and we're like at 28.5. So we're at these highs. Amazon, I just like the risk reward off the top here. I think some of the longs I got out of all my longs at this particular point. I know I still have XPeng, but it doesn't count because it's not moving. I told you guys about that. So Amazon, Coinbase did just make another press, rejected 84 again, so rejected 84, add in the last time, or maybe the second last time, and then if it makes a pullback, it's still going to be that same pocket. I haven't traded it this afternoon, but it is worth noting, FRC failed at 17. That has been the price. I mean, outside of I thought 20 was going to be the price, but it did fail at 17 and then retested 17. I did try to clean up these wicks, and it's crazy. These weren't real. And then all of a sudden it bottomed where these wicks were anyways. These are not real dark prints. Like, these are late dark prints. It never went here, yet it bounces off of these random late reporting prints anyways. These were support in the morning. Oftentimes you will see dark pool prints at either the previous close or at previous key price levels, and they're late reporting it. So 1550 is a big level on the stock, but 17 is a pretty solid level. I tried to get rid of these, it didn't work, and I have the filters on, so I don't know what's going on with that, but 17 would be the level I would trade on FRC if you're watching it. If it breaks that 1550, watch out below. I wouldn't be holding along through there, but to each their own. I'm really only looking for shorts in the stock, and I haven't done much with it because it's up 35% today, so be careful with that one, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so I was just, oh man, too much fun happening around here these days. No, Fahad's just over here. He's just the guy's a funny guy. He just made more money there. So this guy's just killing it every day apparently. So we're gonna
throw him on.
Yeah, well, he was on yesterday. He was on yeah, well, yesterday midday. Yeah,
it was yesterday.
Yeah. No, he got other work to do. But shout out to that. I'm gonna cancel. Here we go. Now Sharif's coming over there to help him with his keys, I guess. All right, so we said we talked a little bit about Google. It is trying to make a move back up. It's up 3%. I really like this trade, man. Google's come from nowhere down here at 90 all the way up. So you've gotten like a nice 15% move in just a week and a half on Google. We know that AI talk is all about Google, man. I mean, you know, we could talk about ChatGPT and all that. Sundar Pichai did pen a letter to everybody today about AI. I have yet to read it, but I feel like that's, you know, a big move to the upside. So we'll read what Google, I mean, this is my largest shareholder, my largest position as a shareholder in Google. So that's what that is right there. I don't own enough to disclose my stake in Google. I wish I did right there, but don't have enough money for that. Yeah, Fahad.
The old 13F.
Everyone, yeah, I have to file a 13F for my position in Google. Yeah, I don't think so on that one. But okay, so that's my largest position, and I like it right there. AMD is what I was going back and forth with Fahad about. I just keep getting out on these wicks, man. There's another out at 50. So, like, that's what I'm doing. We're just taking this out. We cannot lose on this trade. We have our target out at 96 if it breaks. So, you know, let's just keep the fun going on AMD for now. I don't trust it. It's still red on the day, but we are looking to break. You're right here on a 3-minute chart, trying to get going, man, trying to get going. It's these levels that I'm really worried about, which is why I keep getting out at 50. It's because we've already topped out at 65 there when we tried to battle back, and then it said, nope. And then boom, right back down to the downside right there. So, you know, that's part of it for AMD. We're just in the money now, 17 cents. You know what? I'll take another piece out at 35 if we can get it. I just feel like if this market, it is blasting, and AMD is not doing the dance that I thought it would. So we're going to pass on that. If anything, it's Nvidia that just took out the high again on the day. No, it's not the high of the day. It can't be. Just a high of the, yeah, well. Wow, okay, AMD did get, it didn't take it out, but it got right back to that high of the day.
I thought you
at
said AMD.
263. No, AMD's not even really close to the high of the day yet. That's what I was hoping for on AMD, to get back to the high of the day, but we're not even close to that as we go. So we'll have to wait for that. I'm gonna open up my chart that I just closed.
Yeah, Nvidia, that was the high of the day. So
yeah, 53 is 93.
263.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sitting, look, I have Amazon and Coinbase at the top, but Nvidia and I can say it every time. Like, these are not real prints on Nvidia. It's not wick down here, but yeah, the 263.5. That's an obvious double top there. Like, it got there in the pre-market. When I say double top, I mean since the open on actual volume. So that's not a bad level. And if I wasn't already kind of in a couple there, I would probably just have that look. Coinbase is going to break 84. I feel like I was just there when you mentioned AMD. Nvidia. Now I'm saying AMD over and over again. I did this morning too. Nvidia, but it looks like it's going to break. I will take it out on an 84 break. But if it does that wick, fail the top, I will just probably jump right back into it. Because what you don't want to happen is a level like this, if I don't take the stop out, which just happened now. Like, if I don't take that stop out, it could levitate to like 84.50 or something. And then, like, it gets out of hand, and then your risk to reward doesn't make any sense. So I'd rather get out, and if it still sets up, just jump back into it. It's a day trade against the grain anyway, so like that's the way I would rather play it. Just worth noting, I could have sniffed this one out when it was only like 80 was a VWAP retrace, and then when I shorted 80 again, like it stopped me out, that I just jumped back in when it failed, and that actually put in a higher low. So if there was a chance for me to be able to sniff this, it was right here on that pullback into 79. Not to go long at 79, but to reverse long at 80 there. Like, that was a good level. How many times do you have to short it? And then it's higher lows anyways. And then that was the point where that's the reversal into a long. I don't like the long up here because 85 is a big level on the daily chart. I don't like going long into overhead resistance, but there's room from 80 to that 85 level. And that's where I think you can jump into that long side of the trade. Here comes Tesla back into the high. If I had to pick one to short, Nvidia at the high makes more sense than Tesla. The ES has still not broken out, so this is the ES. It's still not breaking out through that high. If both markets aren't taking it out, then I still think there's a chance for the short to come in here. It is power hour at the end of the day, so we have a shorter time frame on a lot of these trades. Can we trend? Sure, but I want the ES breaking the high before I think we can get to like 1.5 or 2%. That just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, Coinbase I was watching Coinbase, it continues to pump up, but I mean, Bitcoin's not really doing
squeezing,
anything
man.
right
Like,
now.
let's
So I
be
think Coinbase probably squeezing up. I mean, Bitcoin's already made its high today, so it's not really following Bitcoin by any chance. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, the more aggressive Bitcoin gets, the better Coinbase seems to be. I mean, what a great move upside for Coinbase. Anybody that has those calls or any interest in Coinbase right now has been definitely rocking. Sorry, I was on AMD. It's definitely now up 12. Yeah, you are really starting to get going here. What is that level exactly? That's 88, 87.50 or so. I mean, I said exactly, so let's find it. Yeah, 87.60, 87.50. So if that's going to be a stop area, that's fine, but you're not even close to there yet. You need to squeeze a heck of a lot more. And then on the 20, I mean, we're off on everything. There's nothing to look at anymore. So there goes Coinbase right up to the upside and continues to go. I think you want to wait for some weakness in the name, but it doesn't look like it's showing you any right now. That is Coinbase straight up to the upside. All right, enough of this. We got to go over to Ford now. Been holding out on Momo for too long. We talked about that earlier, bless you, on this move down here at the beginning of the day when we saw it on the imbalance locator. But there's Ford straight up to the upside. So it's up 5%. Like, we know that Tesla's rocking today, and there's some nice movement here. I don't know what the news is for Ford, and I apologize if we missed that, but sometimes you just have to go back, and when there's a strong name, you just sort of got to look at some levels yesterday that might have been breached, and it was right there about 1140, 1145, and we hit that pretty early right away off the open. So I like that trade if anyone was in that, off of that high. And it's kind of like data mining, like you're going back and you're just looking at charts and saying, oh, that was an easy long. It's just missed. So I think when you look back and you take out some of yesterday's levels, and we could do the same kind of talk here on Google as well. We're now $1.20 in the money on Google. You could look at that play as well. Like here's yesterday's high. Well, yesterday's high happened in the morning, but again, right there, if you take that out, you dance around there a little bit and then bust out. So that's busting out of 103. So again, it took a little bit of time, but sometimes it's about going back to some of yesterday's levels, having a look, especially on names that are really running. It's hard to predict these things as they're happening. So, looking back is one thing, figuring out your trades and where to get in is another. But, Google right now, so that's great trade, Momo. And just to go back on it, just quickly here, where would I get out? Because I feel like I didn't really finish what we were talking about there. Again, you have a high of 12 bucks. If you're long anywhere around here, 4 to 5% move on Ford is a great move. I wouldn't necessarily hold that for any sort of a reason. So I think that if you're looking at a top out right now, you're doing pretty good, man, getting anything out around 75. So if you're long, I like that play. And then looking on the daily for Ford, it's been getting crushed, but I still like this 11 bottom. We always talk about that. Pretty clear, man. Goes all the way back to the summertime included. This past summer, which is 2022. Right back there where we bottomed out on Ford at basically 11.20. So, you're not far away from that bottom. You're still ways away from those Rivian peaks that were had, but I still like Ford here. I don't know, though, man. I heard the EV talk that these guys had on the midday show. Tesla's just so far ahead of everybody that if you're going to put your money into Ford, Lucid, or Rivian, or GM, you're going to have to wait. And, if you're fine for waiting, that's great. But right now, Ford is struggling a little bit off these tops. But 11's still a bottom.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at these, like Ford and GM make some sense. It's just, you got to understand, like you said, like they're just so far out ahead. So my daily chart's giving me issues. So I'll show you GM. When you talk about Ford at 11, that's basically the same thing, GM at 30. Like just sort of pick your poison. Ford pays a dividend, but if you're in it for the swing, maybe you don't care about that. But that 30 level, like 30, it just gives you 30 to 43, like at least a 40. How many times did I have to do it as a swing trade? Like that's pretty clean every single time it goes. And then it's not an unreasonable price that you end up paying on GM. I don't know, my daily chart's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt there. But we just took out the high in the ES. That's what I was waiting for. So I'm out of Amazon. That's going to be, I'm still in SI, but that doesn't, like I said, that doesn't really count. It's just holding the lows at this particular point. So that's the last of the shorts. Now that we've broken the tops, Tesla has yet to get through the high, but that's the one that we had on the breakout, that reversal, 196.5. It hasn't made a fresh high with that, so that's still in the pocket. A, for a 98 break, but B, to try to grab a bit of a dip as well in that name. If you're still tracking FRC, I know I said 17, but it can't seem to pop into VWAP. I paid for the locates. If it gets there, I still do like that opportunity for a short. That doesn't really count when the market's breaking the high because it's not really following the market. So some names are going to move on their own. regional bank. FRC is in its own bucket. I wouldn't even group it with the rest of the regional banks because it has a higher risk of going under than like a WAL or some of the others.
All right, so as the ES and the NASDAQ both taking out days high, noticing that AMD is kind of like hold my beer and not wanting to go up. So we're going to take another piece out here if we can get a 36 print or so on AMD. And again, it's just if you don't need to be in something, then don't be in it. And if it's not ripping up, we'll still be patient and try to wait for a move back up here for AMD. But again, if it doesn't want to give it to us, then it's fine. Like we don't have to hate it for it. We just have to get out and notice that that's what's happening right here. I will still play a dip down into this level, 96.16. We'll still go long where we were long last time, but then we're going to get out if it breaks 96. So, a little bit lower than that. We're going to get out if it does fade. So we're watching that play and definitely well aware that it's not really moving for us. Intel's moving back up. I feel like this could be another shorting position, but then again, I'm sort of off put by the fact that maybe it's not a short because we're long AMD right now, and do we really want to short anything? But that has to still come to the 50 period, or sorry, the 200 period on the 3 minute, which is right here, 28.70 before we do anything. We should have, again, in hindsight being 2020, could have got out of this one back down here when we started breaking back above the 50 periods, and now it's just off to the upside right now. So, yeah, this name going up, the other name going down, and that other name, of course, is AMD. As that continues to go down, what is Nvidia doing?
I thought maybe it would be at that high, but it's not. It's $1 off the high right now.
Yeah, they're both off.
And I can't get rid of these wicks, but 263.5 is the top. It's trading right now at 262.5. So like you said, $1 off that high. If it was there, I might be saying, like this, it's come all the way back, but won't break the top with the market breaking the top. Usually that says you should be short the stock. That's generally speaking what I would look at. Gary Houston in the chat asking, do I ever trade Nucor? No. Nucor is a great investment vehicle. And I think a lot of stocks, sometimes they fall into buckets and they're just better for long term and not that great for a day trader. Nucor is in there. If anything, like in that space, I would tend to say trade U.S. Steel because it's a little more volatility. Sometimes it has that short interest going into it. So that's not that bad of a trade. I've traded that before in the show. I haven't really done it in a while. But yeah, Nucor is not one of those stocks. And it's a great stock. It's just, I don't know, I just don't really see it as much of a day trading vehicle. So Coin just got to 85. And if you look, again, I just don't believe Coin should be up here. I think it's a bit of a squeeze happening as well. But it breaks 84. I'm not holding through. I'm waiting for the next level up. And I'll do the same thing at 85 and the same thing at 86 and probably the same thing at 87. This is in that target zone where I like to short. So if it makes another move up, I don't want to hold it against me. I want to wait for it to make the next move and then go for the reversal. Could I have gone long in the 84? Yeah, absolutely. If I'm looking longs, I always want to be long here or long here. I just don't like being long into what I think is overhead resistance. So I'm in Coin now. We'll see what happens. I wanted to test 85. It pulled back off 84.80 the first time. I grabbed the short the second time through. FRC might not turn into a bit of a trade. We'll see what happens. I meant to say something about GameStop reporting tonight, but it's already pulled back off its highs. So I'm not really seeing a trade in the afternoon. That would have been off 18.50. As I see some people talking about earnings after market. I think that's the only, it's Nike and GameStop. I don't think there's anything else significant, but we'll double check that because I've been known to be wrong about that in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't have an update there on the first show.
Why
didn't we do that? Okay, so yeah, we'll see if
GameStop for sure.
Well, Nike
for sure. Those two for sure.
Yeah. So there is definitely something happening here into the close. So okay, guys. All right, so we got out at 25. We got that 16 fill. We talked about getting that fill right there for AMD. So there it is again. And now we're 15 cents in the money. I know it's not a huge victory time to do a victory lap, but let's do one anyways. Give us those 34s right now on that long. As yo, Fahad, I just went long 96.16 there. I don't know if you covered or not. Man, stop looking at my charts, bro. All right. There it is right there. So Fahad making some bank as well. There's Fahad's trades right there, pumping out for you. Thanks for that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. And then come back to my chart, like live trading over here. Right there. There it is right there. There's the bid right in there. So you good, man. That's the point. Is like that's part of it. You got to learn, and I'm already impressed, my guy. So that's a nice move right there for that. Good look, and that's always good. Like that's part of like where I started with my whole journey was training traders there. So I'm really happy that Fahad's able to put some good work in there and make some nice coinage off that AMD long that we talked about a couple minutes ago, going long down there. And there it is, a nice 20-cent victory back up to the upside right now. So it's a good one here. Yeah, no cheating. No, he's not cheating. We talked about this yesterday. He knows VWAP. He's asking me for all my stuff. So, but he's sitting there making his own decisions. I didn't tell him to do that. But if he was listening, that was the target there. And we got it. And now there it is, all the way back up to the upside. So there it is. Let's get another piece out at 44. And so we do that. So AMD, man, rinsing and repeating. We're almost at the highs that we've been at all day. So it's going to be a good one as this market now let's let AMD go. We have one more out up here near 50, and then we'll see if we can let the rest go back up to the upside and just let this market motor, man, because Google right now is motoring back up to the highs as well. Intel, whatever. We have 5% of this, but I still don't want to lose on it. My focus right here is on AMD. Let's go, man. If we can get another trade near 50, then we're all good.
So Jordan Smith in the chat, Fahad trades. No, he traded yesterday. He traded in simulation yesterday. He's always shown an interest in it. Just obviously with other responsibilities, but he's taking his crack at it. We don't mind. I keep double checking. I'm asking Sharif if there's anything we're missing specifically on SoFi. He'll get back to us. But SoFi just broke a big, I don't want to call it a huge level because $6 is bigger, but 555 was a little something, and it's starting to carry through and hold upside. Only new trade for me was Coinbase, so I'm not going to sit there dwelling on it. It went like 15 cents in the money, 20 cents in the money. That's not a heck of a lot for Coinbase, so probably needs to get down to the lower 84s before I want to cover something. Yeah, this has some room to run. I just don't see a lot of velocity here. I'm going to do this so you guys can see my volume. This is kind of extreme, but it definitely serves the point. Not a lot of volume cracking these highs on this potential break on SoFi here. And if it were to pick up, I think it's spicy. If it holds above and closes above 550, then it definitely has a move into $6 in for it tomorrow. But it's only now breaking this channel as the market's at a top. It just feels like it's done the work already. And you can chase highs if you want. There's certain conditions I like to chasing highs the day before the Fed, into what I think something is overbought into overhead resistance or without a lot of volume behind it. It's not what I want to do. Okay, so coin now actually getting beneath 84.50. So if it comes back into this 84, this is where I think it starts to make sense to start covering. So a bit of a dip back in. While that's happening, FRC is making a move up. It's trying to get back into that 17. I'm looking for this. I'm not going to sit on the offer at VWAP. I hate that. Not going to do it. If it pops up, a lot of times it's going to make a strong run, big wick up top to 17. You don't want to get run over. If you just put an offer like 80, it'll run you over, maybe run your stop in the same candle. I'd rather maybe let it get to that price. If it's going to turn into lower high, then there might not be a trade at all for me, which is absolutely fine by me. I guess no trade on Nvidia. We'll see. It's above 263 now. Just doesn't seem to want to get to that actual high. And if I'm going to short Nvidia, I want the actual top. Like it just keeps turning here. You know what? The quarters is probably a decent place to start. Looks like it did print there. My chart's kind of messed up, so I have to look at my level 2 to make sure it's actually trading these prices.
All right. Yeah, just some talk there. Yeah, look, I mean, that's part of it. When people are like your Coin and your Amazon, like when you're playing those big moves, it's like small cuts if you're going against, that's what I was telling Fahad, when you're going against the trend, like don't hold, that's my biggest mistake. It's like fighting something. And it's like, I have a perfect example of Meta right down there today where we were really holding against this move down here to go short, right? And then we were able to get out of the way, which is a good thing that we did because getting out of the way down here at 199 is a lot different than making a decision right now at 202 as you approach the high of the day. And here's another example right here, getting out of the way of this move, right? So I don't have the move. I have the move on AMD right now at Google. I mean, Google's about $1.40 in the money right there off of these 50 periods and just keeps on bouncing. That's the 50 period. Sorry, the 200 is the green. So that move just continues to go to the high side right now. So we're $1.50 in the money right now. And here goes AMD. We just got another piece out. We talked about getting another one out at the high and then trying to hold everything now. So a couple good reloads there on AMD. Now we go to the moon right now. Yeah, if anybody wants to ask us anything, I mean, I think tomorrow is going to come at a quarter point. I'm not trying to...
Rock and roll USA.
What's he saying? There it is right there.
He just said 50 basis points after today's party. No.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I just want to look at this right here. Today's not even a party, man. I mean, the market's upside. It's actually increasing. So it was 83.4. Now you're up to 84.9. So we'll see. We'll see. I actually want us. I mean, I don't necessarily think 50 points. If he goes 50 points and then talks about it and says that's it, I mean, that's probably rallies the market, right? So I don't, it's more to me about the talk that Jerome's going to have tomorrow, and we will see about said talk and where we're going with that. All right, so again, out, like a bunch of outs right there. We're trying to hold a third of this to see if it can go back up to the upside. But now that it's failing back down, we are going to get out on a 96 break. I'm actually not going to reload this name as we get into 323 right now, heading into imbalances and whatnot. I feel like AMD's gone for a run already, and that's that. So it's funny because Fahad asked me, do I think AMD breaks this high? What did I say, Fahad? No. See, there you go. So he shorted it. So there you go. So, and I said no, and that's why we got out. 2 outs up there. We were only going to get out once, and then I was like, nah, I don't think so. So there's another out right there, and it just comes right back in. So AMD making money to the downside there. Will the market crash off a 25-point hike? What's up to normal guys' perspective? Crash? I mean, it depends what you think about a crash. Like, what if the market just went down 1.3% tomorrow?
We can't use words like crash.
You're right. So that's, I mean, no, I don't. I think the market's on a bull run now for a little bit of time. So
we should talk like, we should put a poll up. Like, I think plus or minus 2%. Like, okay, more than 2% move either direction, and we've made a major move. Everything under that is insignificant on a Fed day.
Yeah,
so
I'd agree with that. I think there's, look, I could go back, and if you just go into my Twitter, and you'll find, I don't know what the last Fed day was, but Google it, find it, see some of the charts that I put up.
Where's the
like, we had like $7 winners on Apple and Meta, and like, it just, you're going to have to be with us tomorrow. We're going to start tomorrow at 1:45.
Yes.
So we'll be here early, so make sure you join us for that. And then we'll talk about some key levels that we like and what's going to happen. So that's, you know.
Hey, Fahad, can you pass the 8 ball for a second? Okay, I just realized how that sounded. So Nvidia just went beneath 263. First things first, I should go back to Coinbase. It did pop to 84s there, just above 84, so I did get some out. I think 83 is the next level, so that's kind of logical if it does make a move. So I'm going to ask a quick question because I just want to know, like, expected volatility. So Magic 8 Ball, will we have, I'm not talking about direction, greater than a 2% move in either direction, right? So that's all that matters to me. We're going to see greater than 2% in either direction. Oh, come on.
This better say yes.
No, but so for me, it's hard to read. Ask Neil the GOAT. Don't ask me.
So what do you think? What's your opinion? What's your opinion? You got to give it.
Okay, I'm saying we don't get more than 2% in either direction, so we'll see what happens. But to me, the Magic 8 Ball shouldn't be telling me, if I ask it a question, ask me.
It's just telling you that your opinion is what matters. So
yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is, but you know.
And yes,
thanks
you
to
guys.
Westermeyer.
Come on, of course I was asking about our customized Magic 8 Ball from D. Westermeyer there, not the other kind. You people, see, you guys, with your YouTube minds out there when I'm like past the 8 ball. It'd be a different kind of show if that's how we're rolling. That's all I'm saying, right? Different kind of show. You guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
All right. So here comes AMD just falling down again a little bit here. We're long at 17. Let's just take a piece out here at 10s or 11s before it breaks through so we can save ourselves a little bit of money. It does look like it wants to come back in. The futures, though, are still holding above the 50 period here. So it's not like the end of the world or anything here. Okay, there it is. We just got some out at 11 there. But, you know, again, you know what? I should make this so you can see some of these. Just noticing now you can't see all these ticks right there. So these are market centers. D, dark pool, P's, ARCA, Z's, BATS, T is NASDAQ, K is at JAX, as we see them all here going through. J is at J. So yeah, anyways, just that's something if you guys are tape reading or anything, you want to sometimes see like which liquidity center has, or which gateway has the most liquidity, and then, you know, trade accordingly. But when you're trading a name like AMD, it doesn't really matter.
That's
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's websites you can go on to and find out the percentage of dark pools that are filling on certain stocks.
I used to have a really good link for that. Because
people probably do it.
Yeah, I got to find it again because it was always good to track, to be able to see. Like some stocks would have a month where it's 45% of liquidity was in the dark pool, dark. And you want to know that if that's the case, sometimes like 10%. And it's a huge difference in the way that it trades. So this is hard for me to show you guys in the chart and have it make sense, but Nvidia, I just got some 263.25, got some out at 262.75, reloaded up here at the top, but it's now breaking out of the high here. So Nvidia trying to take out this high once again. It's skewed on my chart because of these wicks here to the downside, but oh, there it goes. It just levitated to the upside. So I'm now out of Nvidia. Was able to get a scalp trade, reloaded, then it took out the high, so I'm out of it. It looks like nothing happened on the chart because this like 75 cents is condensed. I can't do anything about that. Look, I've tried to get rid of it. Just keeps coming back. So it thinks it's legitimate. They're obviously not legitimate prints. Coinbase, on the other hand, is bouncing off 84, but just not as big of a move. Nvidia, the stronger name, through that double or triple top. If you want to count the pre-market, it was a triple top, a double top. Coin's still working, so I'll hang on to that one. And then the last two, SI doesn't really matter. And XPeng doesn't really matter. FRC looks like it might be done. At least for today. I thought there might be another push into 17. It doesn't want to break the low. It doesn't want to get it back up to 17, so just barcoding. It's 3:30 now, so I don't think I'll be trading this one. And I would throw, remember we're talking about block? Maybe this will be one for tomorrow. 78 break on Square. I'll just jot that one down for tomorrow morning, and maybe we have a breakout trade on this. Doesn't look like it wants to get through here today. I'm not going to take the break in the last like 15 or 20 minutes in Square. That's a trade I only usually do if there's enough time for it to make a bigger move.
Yeah, we're just noticing now that AMD is coming back up, so we take a 5-cent hit on some of it. So we'll see if we could take like a 5-cent, or we'll try to make 10 cents here. Or sorry, what are we long at 17? We'll see if we can get that 25 wick. It just wicked at 28 there. So again, and that's what I mean. That's the wick right there, back up to the upside. So we'll see if we can get that print right now out of AMD at 25 if it goes back to the upside there. And then we'll hold like that our famous 10% left. There it is. Give us that. Yes. So it just rips through. So that was a good one there. We are going to end the day. Penny. Wow, there's still 30 minutes left. So let's not talk about where we're ending the day right now. I don't really see any. Over. Yeah, it ain't over till it's over right now. You're welcome for the show, guys. But one thing you all have to do is I'm going to get Katrine to come ring the bell.
Hola. Like and subscribe today.
I need to get that one on my board.
At Katrine, please ring bell today if possible. What do you wear Fahad is? Just find a chart in a level 2. Yo, Fahad, focus.
I want some of the. I need to get the Katrine thing on my board too, so that I can hit that one.
Is that before or after you trade? Are you going to do that? Yeah, don't worry.
What are you in right now, by the way?
He's in AMD. What do you think?
No, he's trading futures. I see him talk. He's talking to Arun. He's talking to Arun right now, so I think he's trading the futures. Well, that's why I'm curious. Like, because long off this top in the futures with the imbalances, we haven't got the early look yet, but once we have that, I'll kind of let you know. Actually, I just saw it. I just saw it. It's 860 million sell side from a financial juice just there. So sell side balance. Eh? Someone was just asking about XOM. Do I like XOM? In a general sense, yes. As a trade right now, not necessarily. XOM has been rejecting multiple highs. You can see what keeps happening above 115 on the stock. If it gets back up to the 50 period, I think it's probably shortable off that level there. I mean, you can see what's happening to oil prices as well. So it's kind of getting the other end of the coin. Strong move in here today. I just feel like you've gotten the bounce off 100. You've gotten the bounce off the previous support. Now the question is, can it follow through to the 50 period? If anything, when it gets there, I'm kind of feeling that turns into a short. As for right now on the stock, I mean, you can see what it's doing up here. There could be like a day trade breakout or something, but we're running out of time for that to happen. It's coiling up, but not really breaking out of this high. If it does break it, there's room to that resistance I was talking about at the 50 period. That's up around 112 with the players dwell. $5 away. That's probably something for tomorrow or later on in the week when it comes to XOM. Doesn't feel like there's much follow through right now. Oil futures are closed, still going electronically, but it's not going to do anything for us in the last 30 minutes or so.
All right, I'm just looking at Google right now. FRC, by the way, is still 1630, not doing much. I'll update you guys when that starts to move. But okay, let's just go through our Google position. I'm looking at this 104.30 area as a possible, not a possible, as the out. I just put the order in right now. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, okay, good. I was like, oh my God, did it just trigger there? But it didn't, so that's good for that. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. Google, and again, that's right where this 50 period is. It's actually at 104.50. That little dip down is 40, and then that 200 period is 40 as well. So we'll play a little bit of a dip down play on Google. If it does dip, let's just get out because, we already know that this is a busy day tomorrow, and then we just got the, what did you say, 850 or 580? What was it?
Oh, shoot.
8? Okay, so if it's
8:30 something, I thought.
all right, good enough for me, man.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, if it's 8 something, then to sell, I hope you said.
Yeah, we'll sell.
Okay, good. I was listening at what you were saying there, just because I was trying to figure out this trade.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, you didn't even remember, so I don't feel so bad anymore. But again, so, we'll just watch this continue to go to the upside. If it does do that, great. But look at us just absorb, absorb, absorb. This is the 200 period on a 1-minute chart. And again, if you don't trade like me, that's all good. But this is what I'm doing, using this as sort of a trend change and to see what's going on. Obviously, the 50 period break is really a good trend changer. But right now, it's kind of just watching that go to the upside, and I don't know, we're into the close, so.
So Roadrunner made a point here.
Who's a Roadrunner? Oh, in the chat?
In the chat, he's like, rule of thumb is when things start breaking, the Fed pauses, read the regional banks. See, but the problem is if they pause here, then aren't they basically telling everybody that the banking situation is like way worse than we think? Isn't that just scare the living crap out of everybody?
If they pause.
If they don't raise at anything tomorrow and it's 0, then everyone's gonna be like, well, what the heck's going on? Are things much worse than you're saying? Are the banks not as capitalized as well as they should be? Is Credit Suisse gonna have more contagion? I don't know. Like that's what that signals to me. That would be them panicking.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be that happy.
Is it a panic though? I mean, I don't. Yeah,
I don't like what it signals. Like to me, it just says to me a lot of things that the market might, when they digest it, not love. If they pause, are we going to have a little relief rally? I think we possibly could. I just don't know if I would trust it. I'd much rather think that going to 25, and if they pause after the 25, would be a stronger move than them pausing right after we just had all this banking mess, man. Like, it's the wrong timing. Everyone's going to be like, what the heck? Maybe it's another one of these panic situations. Oh, give me a break, Nvidia. I'm gonna show you the chart, but it's gonna be hard to see. But I just got wicked out. We talk about getting wicked out at the tops. So that's me getting wicked out at the top. It's back beneath 263, so it cleared the high of the day just barely. I can't do anything about these wicks; they just keep coming back in. But it cleared the top at the daily and then comes right back in. Coin I held on to because it didn't break the top, but Nvidia I had an out. It took out that out. Now it looks like it wants to work off that high. I doubt I'm going to get a shot to get back in because to me the shorts are above that 63. That's where the money fills are, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get any of these with only 25 minutes to go. I'm out of XPeng in like 2 seconds once that breaks. I mean, it's breaking support right now, so I'll get out of that. And then even SI, like I'm holding on to this because, quite frankly, it never broke my there we go. Never broke my trail, which was sitting up at like 150, and it never got to 120, holding on to the last 10% of the position. Actually, slightly less than that, but it just never really did anything this afternoon. Once I got that 130, I was waiting for 120s, and then trailed to 150. That'll probably get trailed out as well. So let's see what happens. Nvidia, if you're looking for a trade into the close, it's at that high. If it comes to sell imbalance, I mean, now the top is like, is that 264 on Nvidia? So you're kind of looking, I can't look at that chart anymore. I have to look at my 15. So there's the 15-minute chart. Like you're now at that 264 top. That risk reward looks pretty juicy. And if anything, now that I'm looking back at it, I should have been waiting for it to break that level, not shorting it at all, waiting for a 263 half break. Then as it ran those stops, oh yeah, remember 264 is the big level, not 63 and a half from this morning. As everyone's getting stopped out like I was, you get the shorts in there, you short 60s to 80s or something like that, and then you're in the money when everyone else is getting stopped out. I just answered a question about that. Then I shorted the less significant level and ignored the more significant level. So what happens, you get caught up in the lower time frame chart as the move is happening, and you forget, no, 64 is the monster level. I'm going to look back and be like, I probably talked about that this morning, probably tweeted it this morning, and still, in the moment, can fall for the trap of trading off the 3-minute chart there, which did happen to me. Meanwhile, nice and clean, 264 Nvidia.
Unbelievable. We had the trade of the day is a 257 long, and I got out when we dipped that out. Very, very premature, I guess, getting out of that one. But I mean, this is where we got out right when it broke. I mean, this is my Nvidia trade right there. I mean, we only have one trade today, long, right there. Then now, wow, right back up there. Wow, great trade for Nvidia. But thing is, we've actually made more money trading AMD, just watching this name go than Nvidia anyways. We made more money on Nvidia, but the fact that I gave up that Nvidia, I only had 10% left of that, but I did switch back over and start trading right now. obviously this name, AMD, so we only had a little bit left of our Nvidia trade. So still, I could have made an extra $2 on that. That would have been nice, but we've been using some good defaults here on AMD, catching some of these tops and bottoms again there on AMD, in which, speak of the devil, let's get a piece out right now at 40 if we could do that. So we'll spin that right now for a little bit of money, because there it is right there. Nice long again for us. We did get some out at 11, and then we got the same piece out for 5 cents that we took for 7 cents. So that was basically washed, and then there we go again. Now, unfortunately, we only have a little piece left as we hold into the close. Our Google, of course, is working, and I just say, of course, because I feel like when you stay strong on stay long on strong names and short on weak names, that when these happen, it's not really out of the blue. I mean, these are names that people want to buy today. Google, nice upside move. Look at the move on the daily. It continues to work. Let's check JP Morgan before Powell comes tomorrow. 130.50, hanging out, not doing too much. Apple's been on a huge run. Apple's not even far. Look, Apple's still far away from its all-time high. I mean, its all-time high is 180, but you're at 160 now, and you're not far away again on Apple to making those moves back to the 3 trillion club there at 187 or 183, something like that. But there it is right there, 159. I mean, this is also a break long. If we had a little more time in the day, if this was 1 o'clock or something, I would feel like this is a great level to take right now. We've bounced off of 159 a couple of times. I feel like that's a good long if you wanted that. So you're right there right now. The high of the day is 159.10. So, you're right here right now. But it's our AMD right now, and it's our Google. We are officially now.
Awesome.
I don't know if we're going to be at the high of the day when we get out of all this, but for right now we are, and we're well in the money on everything. So unless Google somehow absolutely collapses, this will be another day. So again, red yesterday, green today. We battle back. Keep your head up and just keep trading and keep being positive. Yes, exactly. Shout out to the West Coast right now. But yeah, good moves. AMD 30 cents now. AMD's ripping to the high side again. There's that out that we had where it's taking out new highs in the afternoon, new highs for AMD. Let's go, man. I'm canceling everything right now. Let's just hold this and see if we can get climbing here into the close.
Yes, sir. So we bounced off 84 back to 85 on Coin. I won't short into it, not at this time of day. It's 340. So with 10 minutes to go till the imbalances actually do get dropped on us, that was just the early look we gave. I'd want to see it. It would probably have to turn at 85 before I got in. If I'm still in the position, my stop is going to be at 85 anyways on this name. But I would probably be covering at 350 regardless. So Coinbase is back at that 85 level. It was a decent scalp trade. I elected to get greedy with it, thinking we'd have a bigger retracement. Nvidia is now at 264, so these are both at the high at exactly the same time. The market has just taken out the top by like 30 points. 30 points, the NASDAQ just took out the high, and the ES by 10 handles. Yet there's names that have not broken the top here. Yeah. If we're not actually breaking, then Nvidia I got to have right now. Coinbase I don't have to get into, but I have to have some Nvidia.
Weren't you short, Fahad?
Because Nvidia is definitely rejecting that 264. So it's annoying to look at on the chart. I apologize for that in advance, but the high is 263.92 as the market just blew through the top and continued on both levels. Visualize the ES taking a real chunk out of the high. The NASDAQ did exactly the same thing. Nvidia didn't get through 264. So I just jumped back into it. I got 67s because I wasn't quite fast enough to get over to level 2 because I was watching Coinbase at 85. But that just feels like if it can't take the top when the market's that strong. The real level was 64. I just told you guys. 63.5 to me was a trap, but I fell for it anyways. Now it's 64, I think is the better level.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm assuming that Arun would have given Fahad some stops, but apparently Fahad was short. So I think that his trading career was short-lived right there.
So he was in the futures, not the spot.
I don't know what he was. We can ask him. He doesn't have a mic. I don't know what his.
Oh
You're short. Yeah. He was short the futures. Yeah. So, all right. So it doesn't matter. He's just testing him out, and that's what you should do, right? Always play in whatever. As a new trader, that's sort of what you want to do. You want to be in different tools, figure out, what you're trading and listen. Hopefully, if you have people to listen to, I mean, that was the whole point of Trader TV Live. And I mean, right now, if you're rocking with us, man, I think you're doing pretty good right now, as today's been pretty good. What's up to Matt Carnes? No, I was not in Amazon today, and probably for good, because I don't know what I would have done on Amazon here. I probably would have gone short ahead of 100 there. Now it's just busting up. So I feel like, although this trend is pretty obvious, I don't know if I would have stepped in front of it. It's just probably in here taking some hits. So we'll have to see what's happening right there at 99.40, 99.50 there on Amazon. To me, that would have been the long breaks high right there on AMZN. So we'll stay tuned to that and see if that one wants to continue to work or not. That's Amazon. Intel's not really working. We are now minutes away until we get we can check out Credit Suisse. These are not real updates.
That won't even break $1.
Yeah, that's so right now Credit Suisse, it didn't even break it today, did it? No. So yeah, it's not doing too much. FRC, we are just looking at that a little bit.
Oh, go ahead.
17 right now, not doing much. So yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, Coin. So remember I just talked about like Coin over under 85? Like so it broke 85, got to 85.06. Quite frankly, it was mostly, I was watching at level 2 up. It was mostly dark pools up there. There wasn't actually real liquidity going off above the 85 level. If that was the case, I think it would have gone to like 20 or something. So watch the tape when you're seeing that happen. If there's not real liquid buyers above that price, then it's running stops and algos printing above it. So I did jump in, add back into the short. I wanted to wait for it to get to 85. I scalped some to 60s. What did I get there? Like 60, 63 or something like that in here, just in front of the 50 level. And I think 84 is obviously, look, 84 is a wall, man. It's got some strength in there. So I think I have to get bids in front of 84. At this time of day, like it's 344. I might get it all out at 84 if it comes back in. You're just about getting something out of the trade. Nvidia, again, I can't do anything about the wicks. It's still beneath that 264 level, but it just bounced off of like 263.30 or so, and then back to the upside. So it's showing some serious signs of strength. But until it breaks that 64, I'm going to stay in it. I'm just going to get out of X paying at 350. It doesn't want to do anything. And it's the same thing with that SI position. It's really just Nvidia. You'll see I'm in them still, but Nvidia and Coinbase, what I actually care about here. And one last one for you guys. I want to throw this out because I stopped trading Tesla at 198. It got to 198. I think it was right to get out of it. I just elected not to short it, got out of the long, elected not to short it, and that was actually a better short. So regardless of anything that Nvidia or Coinbase do from here, Tesla 198 was the one. It pulled all the way back into 196, that original breakout price, and then bounced off that level. So the levels were better for me on Tesla, but once I had the winning long, I just decided to stop trading it. Probably the wrong thing to do.
It's hard because there's such momentum, and it's like you see the move go up, and then it's like you're just sitting there. Like,
I just didn't want to short it.
That's the thing, right? It's like it's hard to do that. So yeah, no problem with that trade, of course. But yeah, definitely a hard trade to make. And I'm here with Neil on all of that. These names continue to be very, very difficult, especially when the momentum gets going. And that's just another name right there, Tesla. As we talk more and more about that.
Tesla.
So Tesla. Shout out to my guy over there. What's up to Sharif? Okay, Google just goes right back to high a day, guys. I say, why not take $170? Because we're right here at 105 right now. We just touched out at 105.10. I think a break back down below 90, and we gone. So we'll do that right now on Google, not Tesla. And we'll get out a little bit of a breaker down below. Let's see where it goes. 104.80, something like that. If we break lower, then we're going to get out as we've just really been very patient holding on to that one back to the upside right now. AMD ripped up and came all the way back down, so we're going to wait to see what that does. And there's AMD right there. Went all the way up again to some of those highs. Oh, you know what? We can zoom back out here for AMD and have a look. It just went right into that level again, 67, which is that. So probably could have waited for that, but we have now 3 minutes to go before these imbalances come, and then we'll be able to see really what we're trying to do here with these trades. So hopefully AMD won't drop down. If it does, just double checking that we have our stop orders. And that's part of having a stop order on a name like a Google as well. I don't know where it's going to go from here. Looks like it wants to go upside, but you know, anything can happen. So I'm going to cancel my stops. We still do have a stop south of 96. So if this comes all the way down, we now only have our 10% left of AMD. So that's going to be a good trade. Yeah, Sharif just right there, 863 to sell. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, as that's still back in. Nike's making a nice run today into the close as well.
Couple things. I don't know if we're going to flush, but Nvidia just popped back down to 63s. I grabbed some out there. Now it's just a matter of holding to the imbalances. Same thing with Coinbase. I've zoomed out so you can see Nvidia a little bit better. That's the 84 top. Wait till it gets to a key price, right? Like I kind of, oh man, I was short this at 57. And when you went long, I'm 99.9% sure that's when that stopped out. Like, it worked 57 to 55 and a half. I reloaded it, stopped out, and that was where the jailbreak long was. So sometimes the out should always be a resistance level that you want to take advantage of when it goes in the other direction. Coinbase, the other short off 85, just got back down to 84, so scalping that one. Because quite frankly, there's only 10 minutes left. And when the imbalances come out, if 84 gets cracked, I'm out at 83. If the bounces reverse to a long, then I'm probably getting out somewhere before that 85 low, because I'm going to have a tighter stop on coin. It's just I'm not giving this all the way back into 85. If somehow we bounce here, I'll probably give it to 84 and a half. I like to tighten up the stops as we get into those imbalances, which should be coming any second now. Just because, as I say it, I want to make sure I'm actually doing it. So we just threw that one out there. If you're still watching Tesla here, it's up near that high. You know, if you were in the short here, then, you know, I think you're positioned pretty decently. You have an 98 top here, but I'm not going to jump into this position. We have 1 minute to the imbalances, so just going to ride with these two, see where they go. Coinbase just cracked 84, but keep in mind, you know, I was fighting this one on the way. The best part about it is at least I didn't ruin my day by kind of averaging in and trading away from the key price levels. I waited till it got to the good level and then took my shots at it, but it was an upward trend. So that's how you can manage the day. But I should have sniffed it out. 80 was a clear reversal spot. It's obviously telling me that at noon when it happened. I got out. That was a clean reversal. I wouldn't have reversed long anywhere else, but that one should have happened. So I'll call that like it is. I mean, it's also a psychological level. Like 80 is just 80 as well. So it was telling me that by how difficult the 80 short was into 79 when it was giving you essentially 80 into 77 and a half, no problems the first time. And then the big time higher low, huge volume spike on the 80 breakout. I should have sniffed it out. I'm carrying this into the imbalances as they're about to come out.
Yeah, that's right. The imbalances are about to come out like right away, right now. So get ready for them here. It's going to open it up again.
I got it.
I got it as well. All right, just going to get rid of the ARCA, so it should be good. We are sorted up now, so let's wait to see. And then, of course, Sharif will bring us that number when it does come out right now. So, wow, XOM, 5 million to sell. I'd say this is a sell imbalance. Big sell for XOM. We can go over and see what that stock is doing right now. Didn't even check out oil today. Oil up 3%. XOM, again, bad wick, but there's the sell. Immediately down about 15 cents, so not much. Apple buy. Okay, so not doing much there for the Apple buy, only about 1 million shares. Remember, again, into tomorrow, so ATVI, that's that Microsoft deal, so that's there as well as a sell. RBA, I don't know anything about that, but that's there as well. ATVI, yeah, JP Morgan there as a sell. What's that doing? Oh, yeah, that's starting to make that nice little downside move right here. So, all right. So, yeah, for me, it's not super interesting right there.
Yeah, I mean, out of nowhere, XOM, we got that question today. I had no idea. I mean, if it was at that top, it's pulling back now. Not a huge move. It actually pulled back like 30 or 40 cents so far. But like if you're at the high of the day and a 5 million share imbalance gets slapped on it at the close and it's done 17 million on the day, that's probably going to cause some moves to the downside. The idea is not to have volatility. Because they want people to pair it off, but that's a pretty large chunk there. You always look at it relative to the volume on the day or average volume. That's what you care about. Coin, I'm just, again, going to tighten up the stop here, the trailing stop. I want to give it a chance to fall back into 83. If it does, great, but I'll keep tightening the stop as it kind of breaks back above 84 here. Nvidia, not nearly as good. It's beneath that, it's back at that 63 level, but not really breaking beneath 63. So I might just have to say 63 and that's it if it can't break down the next couple of minutes. Oh, with the imbalances, it says 2.4 billion to sell. We just got that from Sharif. So the overall net imbalance ends up being 2.4 billion to sell. Obviously, XOM is a pretty decent chunk of that. But at 355, expect that number to pair off rather significantly. So watch out for 355. That could be a point where any kind of a pullback turns right around. And if you're watching XOM at 355, watch out for that update.
What did he say? 2.4.
2.4.
Okay.
But XOM, I mean, you saw XOM.
Yeah, XOM's a big number there, and it's not really doing anything with it. So, okay. Yeah, look, Google right now, man, it's still at the same levels. So let's not. Yeah, let's just take this price if we can get it here. We'll take a 97, end the trade there. There it goes as it rips right through us. So that's a good trade for us. We will end the day right there with a good one, with a banger on Google, obviously, as this name we held pretty much all day for me anyways. Not all day, but we got this trade at about 11.50 right there and just covering it right now. So a good little long. And again, majority out right there. Like that's probably out of 2/3 and then boom, boom in our last 10%. So probably, I feel like we held out better than just 10%. So, you know, that was only 10%, but up there, probably another 10 and another 10. So we did pretty good holding out, but again, scalped out probably too quickly. Let's just check out what XOM is doing right now. Again, obviously, as we get ready to see what they're doing, XOM right now, oh man, we saw those bad wicks. Yeah, so despite that monster sell imbalance that we just talked about, or that you could see right now, it is going upside there. So what that means is that they're trying to pair this off, and it most likely will get paired off at 3:55. So in a couple minutes, I think XOM will probably turn around or at least continue to go one way. BAC, 1.6 million. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it doesn't look like these imbalances, honestly, Neil. No. They're not really doing a whole heck of a lot right here into the close. So
I'm just going to point out, Context Logic has had a sell imbalance for a few days in a row now. Read into that whatever it's worth. It's a penny stock, so million's not going to move it. But there's been sell imbalances as it's been consolidating down here, like 45 cents to 30 cents. Like it's a very tight consolidation at the bottom. And then there's been like large chunks with sell imbalances. Someone's been dumping shares here. I kind of feel like the first day that doesn't happen, like 1 million or 2 million into the imbalance, there could be a long the next day off of that stock. It's just a gut feeling. And then maybe you get like a 45 break. But that's like, it's a penny stock play. That's all you'd be looking for. Oh, Nvidia finally made a move to the downside. So I want to capture Nvidia finally made another move. I know it doesn't look like much. It is $1 in the money right now. But the market, it is 355. If I think that there's a chance there could be some pairing off of that sell imbalance, then I'm going to take that one and run. Coinbase, I feel like, just has a little more room to go. It's still consolidating, so I want to give it a chance to break down the next level. I'll hold on to this one through that 355 number. Update, I should say, on the imbalances. So it's just, that's a time where a lot of new orders get thrown into the handhelds on the NYSE floor, which then updates the amount of the net order imbalance in either direction. Everything is sort of conducted like the market makers. They're getting orders into that closing auction for the entirety of the afternoon in the final 10 minutes, especially after it's published, and big updates come right about now.
Big up. Okay, there it is right now. Let's watch.
XOM stayed?
That's what I was going to say. That's the only name that I was looking at right now is XOM, and it still stayed. So still got to sell in there. It may update quickly, but no, it's still there. So I don't know. This could be a good trade into the close. Let's watch out to see where XOM goes. I'm not going to sit there and take anything into this close because that's not really the kind of trading that I'm trying to do here. But yeah, that does look like a good little sell number right there. Darn it, that stupid wick again. So see, even though Neil and I, let me edit this right now. 1445 right now. No, what? Your fingers crossed? It will work. All right, 106.90 right now. It will work. Trust me on that. There it is. So there it is. Nice little. But then I have those ones later from earlier on. But I just wanted to look at it to see what we were doing right now. But yeah, 107.20 still. XOM still a sell. Mullen a buy. That again, look at Mullen downside now buy.
Cents.
Yeah, I know it's not really doing anything to Mullen. But yeah, Apple Tane's overdue a buy as well as that continues to go. We are getting close. AMD. This one's going to be an L for us on that, but obviously, as it's breaking back below 96.01 right now, I think we'll just get out right here if we can. There we go. We're out now of AMD at 01s. Just take it out and don't even deal with it. Again, that's a 15 outs. We lose 15 cents on that one, but that was a nothing burger for that. So, all right.
A couple of things.
Intel's coming back in. Let's empty that, and then we're done. So this is a 50-cent win on Intel, so it's a good thing at least this name came down as AMD did as well.
So Natty Chen asking in chat saying Fubo with a question mark. I'm assuming you're asking, does it have an imbalance? I can check. I just checked it for you. 317,000 is the sell imbalance on Fubo. That's nothing for a penny stock. Like if it's going to move it, it has to be like millions, like Mullen is millions, so it might move it a little bit there. But insignificant sell imbalance on Fubo, which had a very strong day today. And you know what? We're here to show it to you guys. Sometimes there's a trade off these numbers, sometimes there isn't, but we're showing it to you for free like we're trading here for free. The only thing we ask, hit the like. Give us a little bit of a like so we can grow the community out there. We're not even at 1,000 yet, which is kind of depressing. I know tomorrow's going to be a big day, but today was a solid one. I'm just going to Yeah, you know what? I'm going to hold on here on a Coinbase. I mean, I have a trailing stop at 84.25 there. 85 ended up being the better level. I did mess around with 83.5, but we'll give it a chance in the final 90 seconds or so for it to make one last push into the downside. Only 2 minutes to go. It is going to be a crazy day tomorrow, but hey, up 1.5% today. I mean, the NASDAQ, the ES is a little bit less than that, even with this pullback. So some strong movers. Coinbase was among the strongest. I don't have a long all day. I got no issue saying that. I've done it before. I did it again today on a stock like Coinbase. It ends up not even being that bad because I managed to pick my spots, but I could have just been done with it after the first short. I was not. I shorted like 5 more times. The last one's going to end up working out, but that's often how it goes, right? If you short it enough, eventually you're going to catch the top, right? And GameStop earnings after the bell, not sure exactly what time that will be. I'd expect at some point tomorrow I will short GameStop. It's just a matter of where. Usually on their earnings, I'm looking for a spot to fade a pop. That's just how I roll.
Yeah, we can check out GME quickly for everybody here. It wasn't even on the imbalance locator, I don't think. I mean, I didn't see. There's Fubo. Fubo was just there, and then it disappeared. Yeah, I don't know where it is. All right, so we can get rid of this. I mean, I don't think there's anything right now going to happen. There's only a minute and a half left. Here's GameStop, so let's just look at a daily chart for GME. I mean, I don't think it's not set up to beat here, but it's a nice couple days in for GameStop, down to 16 bucks. So, I mean, sometimes if it's really hit downside, then I also often think that maybe it could squeeze to the upside, but this seems to be pretty orderly right here off some of those bottoms for GameStop. So I would just say wait. But the thing is, I remember, and again, I know there's a lot of traders that are in GameStop, so it's just NFTs. Yo, what's up? I just feel like they did make a change. They got into some NFT stores and stuff like that, but NFTs haven't been great. So I would say let's wait to see what happens with GameStop. Definitely a risky play right there, as Miss Katrine is now in the building, ready to rock and roll, looking for that mallet to hit the bell. So hopefully that comes through. And now only 45 seconds. But yeah, should be a good close here into GameStop. I'll throw up that imbalance locator just one more time so everybody can see that right now. And it doesn't look like much. Oh, I thought Bed Bath & Beyond right there for a sell. Ooh, that's 83 cents only. Yuck. Right now for Bed Bath & Beyond, as that name just continues to get pumped over and over again. So, yeah, not much in there with only now 20 seconds to go.
Holla.
Casual day for me and Katrine here today, so good look on that one as we get ready to go with only 15 seconds left.
She's dancing. Get the camera on her when she's dancing.
There it is, there it is.
There it is.
There's some pretty good moves there. I like it. All right, 654. It's Nike. Hey, Nike has earnings. Good sweater today. 2 and 1. And that's all she wrote. Thank you, Miss Katrine, for that.
Where else are you going to find a team that is that well researched and versed that she knows it's Nike earnings today? Ring the bell. Nike after the bell today. Why not? It's all about that.
Yeah, we're in the athleisure today, so we're all ready to rock and roll with some Nike earnings. Getting ready to go, man. Good day.
I'd wear like if I wore that, I'm telling you right now, I would just get. My wife would roast me if I wore the Adidas tracksuit to work. She'd be like, come on, be a little bit more professional, Neil. But I'll tell you this much. Remember when we had our campus office? At our campus office, it was like that every single day. At the middle of the day when the market was slow, what would we do? If there were no trades, don't overtrade. We put on Prices Right or Shark Tank so the traders wouldn't be sitting there overtrading, because you got to do what you got to do. Trade comfortable.
I mean, let's slow down on professionalism here, because you remember when you go to Jays games, you wear a shirt with pineapples on it. So let's not.
I can't wear that anymore.
I know.
They traded Gurriel. My Pina Colada shirt is done.
Oh, damn it. Willis Reed dies.
I got another story. What?
Yeah, that's too bad. Former
Willis
Knick
Reed.
great.
Center for the Knicks, man. He was a legend. He came out on the court in the finals as a decoy. Absolute legend. But let's go to Shariq to see how the market ended up here. Sorry. So basically, like, you guys saw the board. The market is up. The market is strong. Go back to Shariq. He can tell you guys. He can wrap it up.
Reminder, GameStop earnings 405, Nike earnings 415. If you want to to do that, there is the time for that. S&P up 1.25%, the Dow up by 1, and the NASDAQ up by 1.38. Crypto had a good day as well. Bitcoin up by 0.4, Ethereum 1.93. So a decent day on the markets ahead of the Fed rate decision tomorrow, guys.
Why don't we always do that with the pip? And then when Brandon's talking over the chart, it's like, instead of just blocking, I love that. We always do that? We do this one too. Like, that's cool as all hell. We do not use this enough. We do not use that enough. I absolutely love it. One last thing before I let you wrap this up, Sean. The implied volatility on GameStop is 11%. I meant to pull it up there. I had it queued and I just forgot to say it. So implied move of 11%. That's obviously based on options action there.
All right. Yeah, we'll wait to see what happens with GME. If anything pops off, we'll get that to you ASAP. All right. Thank you so much, Sharif, for throwing down today. GameStop already back up to 18, so that might be something. Thanks for filling in for Brendan. Get well soon, Brendo, for sure. Get well, Sharif. I mean, both Neil and Sharif today stealing some, not stealing, using some halts.
I felt fine.
And I took a little bit of Brendo's as well.
I had that because I just wanted something sweet. That's all.
You got the Ricola up there. That's probably a little bit better, higher quality right there. So we'll shout out to Ricola. And we're back tomorrow, man. It's going to be an interesting day for Fed. We're back at 1:45 tomorrow. We're back at 8:30, but we're going to be early on for the Fed, and we'll talk all about that. I'll be trading the TQQs as per normal, and then we'll look at a few different stocks and things like that. But yeah, okay, let's wrap it up. Thanks, Katrine, for a big day today. Thanks, Prad. Thanks, Fahad. Arun for coming through on the midday. A lot of people like that. Thanks. I mean, Sharif's right there. Thanks, Brendo. And anybody else I might have forgotten. Liz, Justin, anybody else involved. I want to thank everybody. And Bears versus Bulls. Thanks again for your messages and everything today.
Shout out to Obi and his 50 charts behind us.
Yeah, shout out to Obi as well today. He's, I don't know what he was trading. We were talking to him earlier. Well, no, you can see them on the show.
He'll be on Thursday. It easy, He'll be covering for me on Thursday.
Yeah, that's why. See, Obi working the lines right now. But okay, guys, join us tomorrow. We're back at 8:30. Sleep well, GameStop holders, because it's earnings day, and we'll check you in the AM. Ciao.